I hear this all the time from our patients. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, resolve to get it treated today and stop having it affect you and the one you love. ED is simply a medical condition. It's fully treatable. And at Northeast Men's Health, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, your ED will be a thing of the past. In fact, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and you'll also likely find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. It's the new year. Resolve to get your ED treated and change your life. Call us at Northeast Men's Health. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
So in total, how much would you say you lost in this scam?
I would say over $1 million. I worked really hard my whole life, and I wanted someone to share it with. I thought he really did love me, but he scammed me. It's not just the money. You almost lose a part of yourself.
Every year, older Americans lose hundreds of millions of dollars to romance scams just like this. I'm Connecticut Attorney General William Tong. With AARP, we're working hard to stop these scams before they start.
Visit aarp.org/fraudwatchnetwork.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by Wesley Financial.
Move over AI. Use Travel Roulette to plan your next vacation. Your family tosses destinations into a hat. You pick one and go.
You can do it for the destination, and then you could do it for the sites in that destination.
Travel vlogger Mark Walters says it can be a fun way to plan a trip, but you need to know everyone's comfort level first.
Kind of understand everybody's level of, let's say, freedom they want to get with these kind of things.
I'm Rob Hart.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/now. That's ethos.com/now.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
The new era of UFC on Paramount Plus continues. Live from Australia. Featherweight champ Alexander Volkanovski.
He is an animal.
Defends his belt at home in an explosive rematch against Diego Lopez.
You gotta be kidding me!
And the always dangerous Dan Hooker.
Yes.
Throws down with powerhouse Benoit Saint-Denis in a high-action lightweight showdown.
Oh! There's never been anything like this.
Let's go. UFC 325, Saturday, January 31st, only on Paramount Plus.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the Radio. Turn it up. Turn it up loud. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the Radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's Snowmageddon! It's just mounds and mounds of white fluffy stuff. It's everywhere. What's going on, you scallywags? It's Reese on the Radio. We are live right here on WTIC News Talk 1080. I, for the first time in about 3 years, have come down with a slight cold. Just a little one. It's weird, but I feel it coming on. It's like I'm getting some aches and pains kind of. I know it's because I'm old. I know it's because my immune system is failing miserably. It happens as you get older. I'm working on it. I don't keep a cold for more than 12 hours. And if I do get a cold, you barely knew it. In fact, Roseanne always makes fun of me. She says, when COVID was around, Reese's idea of having COVID was, and it was over. But I did lose my sense of smell. So I don't get sick. So when I do, you can really hear it on my voice. So you could probably tell today I'm a little raspy. In fact, I almost feel like it's coming from the throat and lung area. So, I don't know. I'll have some lemon. I'll drink some tea. I'll stay away from anything that's dairy, and then I'll be fine. But nonetheless, zinc. Good point there, Richard. Thank you. You're 100% right on that. John Beckman, Richard, as I just mentioned. Who else? Michael A. and Michael B. in the chat room. Scallywags on deck for the show today. I've got plenty of stuff to get into. We will get into Signalgate. For those of you who have been checking it out online, it has been exposed, the inside network of the protests happening in Minnesota. And it would behoove the journalists here in Connecticut to do as Cam Higbee did and investigate the organizations that are rabble-rousers right here in the Nutmeg State. Because you can damn well bet that this is nationwide when it comes to leftist propaganda and organizing. You can damn well bet what's happening there will very well happen here if we are not infiltrating those organizations. Connecticut Sentinel, you know I'm talking to you. Of course, guys like Mark Fitch, I don't have to say anything to that guy. I know he's doing it. But those of you who are out there who are investigative journalists, please be on your P's and Q's because it's happening. We'll get into Signalgate a little bit. Also, I want to talk about a school in Georgia. Apparently, all the kids walked out of class, as many kids have done across the country. You stupid idiots, please keep walking out of class. I don't even understand why you're in class in the first place. I've seen your grades. What is it, 20% proficiency in math? 19% in reading? You didn't want to be in class anyway. No one cares that you're protesting ICE. You are going to be useless when you get off. I'm sorry. Don't be mad at me. I know there's some people out there, don't say that about those children. Sorry. But that kid's going to be delivering your Uber Eats. You know who he is. You know he is. That kid will be lucky to ask you if you'd like fries with that. You know it. You know it. I don't care. These kids don't care about ICE. They cared about getting out of class. They're not learning there anyway. They're not. So we'll talk about that as well. We'll also talk about a video I posted yesterday. I thought they told us that ICE would kill us. I thought they said that ICE will shoot you dead. So why are they still out there messing with ICE? I don't know, but they are. After Renee Good was shot and killed, Americans are under siege, they told us. They will shoot you dead. They don't care about you. And this prompted people to go outside and do what? Just that, get shot again. I don't get it. We'll talk about that as well. And of course, we'll talk a little bit about my Substacks today. One in particular that's gaining a lot of attention is the article I wrote about Doug McCrory. If you haven't, go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com, click on my Substack, become a subscriber, and read the new column that just came out on Sunday. I'll talk about that a little bit. But my opening monologue today, I want to talk about the term useful idiots. A lot of people use that line as a throwaway. They say, oh, these people are just useful idiots. Listen, stop throwing away that line. There's a movie I'm going to talk about later on today. It's called The Coddling of the American Mind. Documentary I just heard about this morning. I need you to understand something. Useful idiots are just as easy today as it ever was. As it ever was. And believe it or not, it is easier today to get those people to sacrifice their own lives for a cause that truthfully means nothing to them because their life has no meaning. Listen to me. Imagine a world, before I really get into the deep of this, I want you to understand something. I want you to think about this, not as an us against them. I want you to understand dueling ideologies. Let's look at it that way. Instead of an us against them, I want you to deal with dueling ideologies here. Moms for Liberty versus the women out in the street today. Here are the dueling ideologies. Moms for Liberty came about to protect their children from indoctrination into gender fluidity and gender studies in their classroom, drag queen story hour, and pornographic books in their library to protect their children. The opposing ideology to that framework was to call those women fascists, bigots, trans, and homophobes, as the Moms for Liberty were raked across the coals because they wished to protect their children and how they were raised. Do not have their daughters share bathrooms with boys. To not have their daughters be beaten up on the fields of play in girls' sports. These women were demonized just for that ideology in protecting their children. Not having pornographic images in the classroom, in the library, in the schools, so they do not expose their children to sexual orientation of a depraved mind. The opposite today. Whom are these women who are in the streets protecting? Their children? No. They believe their children should be subjected to the same thing I just said the Moms of Liberty do not want their children to endure. These women out in the street are protecting the very individuals who would harm said children. Renee Good left her kid at a radicalized school to put her body in danger up against federal law enforcement with guns going after dangerous criminals. It isn't to suggest that Renee Good doesn't love her child or didn't love her child. It's just a dueling ideology. We would never demonize Renee Good's love for her child. We would question the amount of, considering her actions. See, I would never question a mom of liberty fighting for the things that I mentioned, keeping a boy out of her daughter's locker room, keeping pornography or pornographic illustrations out of the public library for a kid K through 12. I would never question a mother's love when she said that. I wouldn't say, I don't know if you love your kids. It would never come to my mind. In fact, even Moms of Liberty opposition never once accused those moms of not loving their children. In fact, the only questions they brought up were, what if parents want their kids exposed to this? They never questioned the love, the care, or the protection that those mothers were trying to provide. Never once. It never once came up. Name a time. But when Renee Good was killed, every person, even those who supported her, had to ask themselves, sweetie, you got babies at home and you put yourself in danger like that? I don't know. I just can't. I don't know. As a mother, I don't know if I could do that. Makes sense, right? Yeah, for people that you don't even know? Like, I don't know if I could do that. And you know you were all saying it. You don't have to leave it up to me. Any fair-minded individual was thinking that. Back to useful idiots. You have to be a miserable person. Miserable. To find your value in fighting for the ridiculous things that Renee Good was fighting for. Nothing about what Renee Good fought for advanced her life. It did not help her child or her wife. It only ruined it. Everything she stood for, from her advocacy in the beginning when she joined this ICE Watch group, it was about oppression. It was about oppressors. It was about getting angry. It was about putting your body on the line. Why? Because you have to have some sort of apathy towards the other individual. You have to see something as being wrong. You have to see yourself as a savior. You are not a happy warrior if you are putting yourself or the individuals you're fighting in harm's way. A happy warrior stands there and protests, holds up a sign, says this is wrong, has an ideological disagreement with you. But that's not what Renee Good was doing, was she? Or her wife, Becca, or this 37-year-old nurse. These people needed to be agitated and angry in order to put their bodies on the line. And you must remember who made them do it and told them that it was important to.
This is just a warning to you Trumpers. Be careful. Walk lightly. And for those of you who are soldiers, make them pay.
I will go and take Trump out tonight. And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you stay in the crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
Protesters attacking Trump supporters. Those supporters were attacked as they left the convention center in San Jose overnight. Some punched, some chased down and beaten. Others had bottles thrown at them.
The protesters shaking cars, breaking taillights.
So you literally didn't say anything to provoke them?
I was like, yeah, Trump. At another point, protesters followed this couple, violently harassing them. Police were there, armed in riot gear, but from what we witnessed, reluctant to initially stop or engage the protesters. Spat on, bottles thrown at them, then punches.
They go low, we don't go high. We take them to the mud and choke them out.
Donald Trump, I think you need to go back and punch him in the face.
That I thought he should have punched him in the face.
I feel like punching him.
Other Trump supporters beaten.
What happened? I was walking on the street and this guy like sucker punched me in the back of the head.
You gotta be ready to throw a punch. You have to be ready to throw a punch.
I'd like to take him behind the gym if I were in high school. If we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
After a WSU graduate student allegedly attacked another student who was wearing a Trump hat, he is now facing an assault charge.
Take him out now.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump.
Trump supporter Arthur Schaefer, seen here earlier in the day, became a target later on. A mob chased him for a block and a half, took his flag, Trump hat, and glasses, and spat all over him.
Please, get up in the face of some Congress people.
People will do what they do.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price.
People need to start taking to the streets. Self-proclaimed Antifa activist Michael Reinell seen in newly released surveillance images stepping off the sidewalk moments before police say he fatally shot pro-Trump supporter Jay Danielson.
What else do you need? Just tell me. What else do you need? Those are public officials telling people to get out onto the street and put your bodies at risk. And when you're miserable and you're told that there's nothing left to live for, unless somebody's willing to die for it, you get Renee Good and Alex Purdy. This falls at the feet of the left, even when the left gets shot and killed. We'll be back. More on this when we return. It's Reese on the Radio.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-529-2856. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 to 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-529-2856. That's 800-529-2856 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-529-2856. 800-529-2856.
When winter weather hits, you can depend on WTIC News Talk 1080 to get you through every storm. With weather, Bob Cox and the WTIC Weather Center working around the clock to give you the latest, most accurate winter weather forecast. With traffic, Mark Christopher and the WTIC traffic team will get you around the tie-ups. With news, the WTIC news team will have all the important news updates related to every storm. So when winter weather hits, and it will because it's winter and it's Connecticut, trust WTIC News Talk 1080 for the winter information you need without the hype.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
And now, a WTIC news update.
2:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. We have cloudy skies. Snow has wound down. Temperature is 22 degrees. Sam Perry's in with the forecast details coming up. And the big cleanup from the powerful storm continues. Snow, sleet, freezing rain around a good part of the country. Snowfall totals in Connecticut ranged from 1 foot to 1.5 feet. The State Department of Transportation and local cities and towns, including Hartford, are thanking their road crews for working to clear roads nearly nonstop for a day. In the capital city, the parking ban has been lifted, but city schools will remain closed on Tuesday as the cleanup operations roll on. Other news, President Trump sending his border czar, Tom Homan, to Minnesota as protests in that state increase. After a second deadly shooting involving ICE, Trump did speak with Governor Tim Walz today. Walz saying that the president may be receptive to scaling back some of the ICE presence there. Israel says the remains of the final hostage in Gaza have been recovered. And that paves the way for the next phase of the peace plan that ended the Israel-Hamas war. Connecticut's December unemployment rate inched up by 4.2%. The numbers out today showed payroll jobs were down by about 500. WTIC news time is 2:31. Checking traffic, couple of issues out here. Not a lot of traffic, but there are a couple of issues to deal with nonetheless. In Cromwell, we still have that one vehicle crash on the northbound side of 91 between exits 21 and 22. That's in the right lane. Manchester, 6 East Center Street. That's closed. A pole came down with some wires early this morning. And down in Norwalk, 95 northbound between exits 15 and 16. Left lane is still closed there due to a crash. Sam Samperi has the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
Good afternoon, everybody. We're still seeing a little bit of light snow this afternoon. We're picking up a good coating, too, an inch or two. But this snow will come to an end soon, and now it's the bitter cold that we'll be dealing with. The temperature is holding steady in the upper teens to lower 20s. It's that wind. It's that brisk northwest wind going on at 10 to 15 miles per hour. The wind chill value is down in the single digits to near 0 this afternoon. Otherwise, tonight, clearing out, but bitterly cold. Lows 0 to 10 above. Wind chills down below 0. Tuesday and Wednesday, look for a mix of sun and clouds. Highs each day averaging in the upper teens and lower 20s. Again, the wind chill will be feeling like 0 to 10 above in the single digits throughout each day. And overnight lows averaging, again, 0 to 10 above. Some areas can even go below 0 if we die down the wind in the valleys, but wind chills, that's how it feels, well below 0. Right now, we have that light snow beginning to taper off, and temperatures across the region in the upper teens and lower 20s. Be safe. I'm meteorologist Sam Samperi.
Yeah, 22 right now is the temperature in Hartford. Markets so far in positive territory today. The Dow's up over 300 points, and NASDAQ over 150, and the S&P up 44. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times?
You're playing the lute. Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades. Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
QC Kinetics helps active people stay active. People like David Boardman, police officer, competitive athlete, and gym owner who trains hard almost every day.
My body's taken a lot of abuse over the years. I've had multiple knee surgeries on both of my knees. I could barely run a mile prior to going to QC Kinetics. Doctors have all told me, hey, you are going to need knee replacements.
But QC Kinetics gave David great news.
We're going to give you the opportunity to have not one, but 2 healthy knees, and we don't have to cut you open.
And after David's regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics?
Since I've gone to them, I run 20, 30 miles a week. I really wouldn't be able to do that if it wasn't for QC Kinetics.
From knee pain to Ironman training.
It's a no-brainer.
Now it's your turn. Call QC Kinetics to book your free consultation today.
Call QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN. That's 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN.
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too. Newsmax has been terrific.
President Trump is right. Millions like you are tuning into Newsmax. You're watching Newsmax on cable. You're going to our streaming channel, Newsmax 2. And you're downloading our free Newsmax app on your smartphones and TVs. Reuters Institute says we're now one of the top news brands in the nation. Every night, watch great shows with Rob Schmidt, Carl Higbie, Rob Finnerty, and more as they expose the big media lies, the Washington swamp, and they're never afraid to talk about faith, freedom, and the values that made us great. Find out why Newsmax is the fastest growing news channel in America. Make the switch today and join our news revolution. Get Newsmax on cable, on streaming, and download the free app today. It takes just seconds to start. Let President Trump know you stand with Newsmax. It's for real news, for real people. Make the switch today.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
Thank you for the compliment on the hat there, Richard. This is actually turning out to be one of my favorite Boston Red Sox hats. We'll get also into the playoff games today as well. I'll talk a little bit about that with Roland. I'm sure he watched them. And we'll get into that. I'm going to give my analysis of the New England game versus the Seattle game, which was clearly much more riveting, but we'll get into that later on. I said this yesterday as I was posting, and a lot of you have seen my videos. By the way, follow me on X at Reese on the Radio. That's Reese on the Radio on X. You can find me there, and, of course, on Facebook. And you can go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com to find all of my social media. Anyway, just go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. You can watch the program live there as well. So as I was going over this, I remember everything in the news because, of course, it's my job, but I just have this uncanny recall that I'm often lauded for. And you know it was the same old after the shooting of Renee Good. And in order for people to get political mileage out of it, anyone and everyone on the left took to social media and television to say ICE agents are indiscriminately putting people's lives in danger and they will kill people. Now, this was also what we were told during Black Lives Matter, right? That black people have a target on their back. That if you go out and you confront police, they will kill you indiscriminately for the color of your skin. And when that was going on, I kept asking the same question. Then why are all of these black kids right in the faces of police officers who, in essence, have a hankering to shoot and kill them? Like, if I, it's sort of like saying, boy, ferocious lions like 56-year-old 6'3" black men. And then I go, I guess I should go to the zoo. Like, I would never do that. Like, that would tell me, stay away. Because, again, I'm led to believe, now one of two things has to be true. They really don't believe this. Or they do. But what did it get after Renee Good was shot and killed? There were people in the street screaming at ICE agents. You remember I played them here. Older white women screaming at ICE agents, shoot me in the face, shoot me in the face. Now, did they believe that ICE agents would do that? Were they under some weird, was it some weird fantasy that they thought that they would end up in the news? That perhaps they would be the next martyr? Was this, I don't know, was this something they could have on social media to brag with their friends about? I don't know. There's a million things I could think of. And everyone on the right, those mean sons of a gun, you know who you are. A lot of you were posting, FAFO. F around and find out. A lot of you did not have a lot of empathy for Renee Good. And you were like, if you tempt these guys, if you impede in their investigations, you ram their cars, you put their lives in danger, this is what's going to happen. But sure enough, how did the left respond? More and more people showed up. And why? One of two things has to be true. They were saying to themselves, or they were told, don't worry about it. Renee Good is a one-off. But then you get this guy, Pretty, who ends up to Alex Pretty, he gets shot. And did this deter people? Because now you got two people. A little more than a couple of weeks, less than a month. And more people showed up? Like, did more people step up and go, I want to get shot too? Something must have happened. Because I'm hearing, I got to figure out the rationale. Or was somebody saying, well, they can't shoot all of us? Or were they all revolutionaries? Would they really think that they were part of some war? Now, I can't get into the minds of all of those people, but I can get into the collective psychology of a group of people who would run towards a threat they claim is out to kill them. And that would be deemed idiotic or useful idiots. Understanding that in order to make a case, one of you or several of you must die. And the person with the least, let's say, to lose would be the individual to lose their life because there's nothing else left for them. Now, that sounds like a really rough thing to say, folks, but come on. Think about it. You have to look, again, I brought up in the beginning, you may have been here late, but I'm going to lay it out for you again. Think about the ideology of a woman like Moms for Liberty versus the liberal white woman in the anti-ICE protests. What are each protecting? Now, a Mom for Liberty will fight in the courtroom. She'll fight at the, at the Board of Education meeting, right? She'll fight at City Hall. She's litigious. She forms a group. They have meetings. They find legal ways to push back on the, I would say, dictatorial aspirations of their school board or Board of Education or their town council. Those are the things that they would do. The liberal left gets out in the street and gets into a wrestling match with federal agents. And what are they protecting? Not their children. No, no, no. They're running a risk of losing their own lives, leaving their children parentless or single-parented. And what have they decided? That people they do not know, they have no idea who ICE is coming there to get. They're not. That's why you keep seeing the Trump administration keeps putting up pictures of the people that they're fighting. It's like this guy, child rapist, this guy. They keep putting up these pictures. They don't care. They don't care. So, again, I would contrast the two. What are they protecting? Obviously, no one. The liberal women on the left are protecting no one. This is about them and about what they believe and what they hate. And that is this administration. ICE agents are an extension of Donald Trump. When they see ICE, they see Trump. And if they're an extension of Donald Trump, they're fighting Donald Trump. That is the mind-numb robot that is this modern left. And when you have obsessed to this degree to fight Donald Trump to the point where you would put your life on the line, you are indeed the useful idiot the left wants. They've indoctrinated you. They've literally corrupted any sense of independent thought. And they remind you every day it's about Trump. Now, think about this, folks, because you keep asking yourself, why do they keep saying Trump? Why do they always blame everything on Trump? Why is it always Trump's fault? That's how you indoctrinate people. I want you to think about it. Yet you've all heard the term tunnel vision. I remember the first time I experienced it. And I didn't know how to drive at first, and my friend Derek was making me drive his old brown Gremlin through Brooklyn, and at night, of all places. My eyesight is not all that great, but the first time I would drive, he would, of course, be too drunk to drive, so I would drive his Gremlin home from Brooklyn all the way to Queens, and be about an hour drive. But I had to do it because I didn't want to be a chump, and I didn't want Derek to know that I was scared, but I did it anyway. And I drove that car, and what I noticed is that I would stay in the right lane, the slowest lane, and I would just drive. I wouldn't look at the rearview mirror. I wouldn't look at the side mirrors. I just looked at the white line. And Derek caught me. And Derek says, "What are you doing?" And I went, "Well, I'm just driving." He goes, "You're staring at the white line. I know it." And I went, "Yeah, what's wrong with that? I'm just trying to stay in the lane." He goes, "You can't drive like that. That's tunnel vision. That line will hypnotize you. You keep seeing the same white line over and over again. You don't realize it, but it will hypnotize you. And if you pay attention to it long enough, you won't see other things on the road. You have to constantly move here to there. Now think about that, folks. They keep telling these folks, Trump, 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 Trump. It's the white line. And these minds of mush, easily indoctrinated. That's what they are, easily indoctrinated. And virtue signaled. This is about virtue. You're the good guy. You're fighting against evil. These people will compromise regular principles to fight what they perceive is a universal truth to them. And that is Trump is evil, and anybody who would work with him is evil. Anybody who would agree with his policies is evil. Anyone who would dissent from their idea is evil and a Nazi and a bigot. Don't even have to. Again, you're not supposed to critically think. That is the brainwashing. That is the indoctrination. That is where they are. And if you can get them, if you can literally get them into believing that what they're doing is noble and pure and true, of course you can convince them to kill themselves. Of course you can. Their sacrifice is for a greater good. I don't want to be harsh here, but how do you think they get every other terrorist organization to give up their lives? How do you think that works? You give them a promise of martyrdom. You tell them that their sacrifice is a greater good. That in essence, they are heroes, gods even. And that's who these people are. And they're all looking for more than their 5 minutes of fame. They're looking for immortality. But they don't understand. There's a Bobby Seale for a reason. There's a Huey P. Newton for a reason. Not everybody gets to be those guys. But they'll tell them, you can be. That's the reason why they keep telling you, say her name. Renee Good. Say her name. Because there's some people in the crowd who can't wait for it to be their turn. We'll be back.
That's my big brother, Joe. He's using the Xbox right now. Joe's my mentor in the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. He's been teaching me stuff about cars and how I can do a better job of managing my time. I've been showing him games on Xbox like Fortnite. We're supposed to leave for the Yukon game soon. Come on, Joe. Let's get going. Looks like I need to show him a few things about time management.
I can't believe I got wiped out again.
And how to stay alive in Fortnite. Joe has a lot to learn.
It's National Mentoring Month.
Big Brothers Big Sisters of Connecticut has been providing children in need with great adult mentors for the past 56 years. Caring, inspirational adults who help them follow their dreams, develop their innate talent, and reach their highest potential. Big Brothers Big Sisters of Connecticut offers these life-changing mentoring services to children in each of Connecticut's 169 municipalities. Visit ctbigs.org to find out more.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax. They know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Let's ring in the new year by finally checking off something that actually matters. Your old videotapes and photos are fading more every year. VCRs are disappearing, and the clock is ticking to save your family's most important memories. Hi, I'm Adam Baselogger.
And I'm Nick Mako. We started Legacy Box to help you preserve your memories by converting all your videotapes, photos, and film reels into digital files. And this year, it's easier than ever.
Introducing our biggest kit yet, able to hold up to 80 videotapes or film reels or 2,000 photos. It's perfect for big collections. You can even send in old DVDs, memory cards, flip phones, or early generation iPhones.
Legacy Box is truly the easiest New Year's resolution you'll ever keep. Just fill your box and send it in. As the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos, all work is done in the U.S., and we're trusted by over 1 million families.
Start the new year right by rescuing the moments you haven't watched in years. Go to legacybox.com/radio for an incredible 55% off. That's legacybox.com/radio for 55% off.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Can I let you know, there's something I posted yesterday talking about a weird thing that I noticed. And it started with me just sitting at my desk in my apartment, and a TMZ article scrolled on X. I just happened to see it. Like, I'm scrolling through it, and I saw the headline. I thought it was interesting because I know I don't follow TMZ, but for some odd reason it's in my newsfeed, probably because like you do, like your algorithm will put up the thing that you checked out. So I must have checked out a TMZ story for it then to start showing up on my feed. But it did. I just scrolled past it. But it was interesting that TMZ has now become very, very much involved with politics because there's a degree of celebrity now with Donald Trump's, ascendance to the White House, that now politics is somewhat celebrity, because celebrity is pretty much dead. Anybody can be a celebrity. So politics has now become the new celebrity. But anyway, I digress. Anyway, so I passed by, and TMZ, which is supposed to be out of the mainstream, puts a headline that says, American citizen, what's his name? Alex Purdy. It just says that, and I go, wait a minute, I've seen that before. So I start looking it up. And all of a sudden, every article I saw had some reference to the 37-year-old nurse being an American citizen. U.S. citizen shot by ICE. American citizen shot by ICE. And I'm going, why is that? So I start searching everywhere, from BBC to the Atlantic. No matter where it was, there it was. Some Alex Purdy, a U.S. citizen. I'm like, we never say that about anybody who's shot. Imagine WFSB, Joe Schmo in Hartford, U.S. citizen shot. No. But there is a reason for it. There is a reason for it. Because, again, it doesn't make sense. And I'm here to cut through all that nonsense. That is supposed to appeal to conservatives. Believe it or not. That is to appeal to conservatives and pull at the heartstrings of MAGA folks or people on the ideological right. Because if you see the U.S. citizen part, you will be triggered. American citizen died. The left doesn't care about Alex or Renee Good's citizenship or the fact that they don't give two damns about that. In fact, when Renee Good was killed, it was at least a week to two before they started using the term U.S. citizen. Because the objective there was to get you listening to this or reading this from the auspice of, we as Americans are under attack too. We are just like the illegals. They're trying to get out there. They don't have any regard for us. Don't fall for it, folks. Don't fall for it. It's everywhere, by the way. It's insane to watch. But I thought, as soon as I saw TMZ write, I went, TMZ doesn't write like that. That's not even their thing. But it was marching orders. And the collective left and the news media, but I repeat myself, they immediately started saying that. So that's what all of that is about. When we come back, I'm going to talk to you about Signalgate. It is confusing. Without a doubt, it is confusing. But it is a very, very concerning thing. And if you've heard the news at the, bottom of the hour, and you will probably hear at the top of the hour, Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota has finally decided to acquiesce to the Trump administration. Well, folks, that's because it has everything to do with what I'm going to tell you at the top of the hour. And it is ugly and very true that Donald Trump called Tim Walz, or spoke to Tim Walz, I'll say, and told him, we've got all the goods, all of them. And what Cam Higbee did this weekend in exposing key players, I've got some of the names here that are directly involved with Tim Walz. He had to bow. It looks really ugly. And this Minnesota thing is about to rock everyone. Indivisible, you guys better count your blessings. And you journalists out here, start looking at these NGOs. By the way, that's our next big investigation, the NGOs. Oh, we're going to get into them. We're going to get into them, almost in a biblical sense. Boy, are we going to get to the bottom of those. Oh, and I understand some old rivals have come out of the woodworks and tell me that they're making plans to come after me. I can't wait. We'll talk about them this week as well. So stand by for that, okay? Top of the news coming up with John Silva. It's Reese on the Radio, and we'll be back right after your news on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080. This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the Radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
3 o'clock, Hartford temperature 22 degrees. Good afternoon, I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Cloudy, cold, the snow is just about come to an end. And we'll keep temperatures, though, in the low 20s. All the forecast details coming up. Connecticut spending the day cleaning up after a blast of winter left over 1.5 feet of snow in some parts of the state. Local and the state and municipal road crews are continuing their operations and will most likely do so into tonight, even into tomorrow if need be. Most of the highways have visible pavement on them. There are still some spots with some snow cover. but overall passable. Some of the secondary roads, though, side streets, those could be a whole other story with still some snow cover on them. There's also large mounds of snow on corner sides of roads that drivers need to be aware of as they navigate through that. In Hartford, the parking ban came to an end at 1. Mayor Arunan Arulampalam says while several hundred vehicles were towed, by and large, residents complied with the order to get their cars off the street.
We have about 300 or 400 cars that got towed. This was not no exception, but we wanted to make sure every single car was off that road. I will tell you, PD has told me that this is some of the best compliance they've ever seen in a storm.
The schools in Hartford, though, will remain closed tomorrow. The cleanup is underway, and one thing homeowners should not ignore: vents and air intakes around the home should also be clear of snow and other obstructions. Chris Herb is the president and CEO of SEMA, the Connecticut Energy Marketers Association.
If you have side vents on the side of your house where your exhaust system vents out to, you need to make sure that those snow drifts do not cover them up, because it could create a dangerous situation for your family from a health perspective.
In Minnesota, federal judges hearing 2 separate cases related to the ongoing surge of immigration agents in that state. District Court judge granted a temporary restraining order against the Department of Homeland Security over the weekend, barring the department from altering or destroying evidence connected to the killing of Alex Preddy in South Minneapolis. This morning, State Attorney General Keith Ellison was in court to argue for an end to Operation Metro Surge.
What justifies this disproportionate flood? Nothing legitimate, but the president has been clear. Retribution, he's been clear. We didn't vote for him. He was really salty about that. And it's unjustified and illegal. And we are praying for the relief that the state of Minnesota needs.
The president is sending his border czar to the states.
I'm Stacey Lynn. President Trump says he's spoken to Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, posting on social media that the governor called him with the request to work together. He said it was a very good call, and they seem to be on a similar wavelength.
Connecticut closed out 2022 with a decline in jobs and an uptick in unemployment. Patrick Flaherty, the State Labor Department's director of the Office of Research.
Connecticut payroll employment declined by 500 jobs in December after rising by 2,100 jobs in November. The unemployment rate edged up to 4.2%.
Says the outlook for 2026 is dependent on whether there's a recession. Flaherty says if one can be avoided, modest job growth is in the offing, even if the unemployment rate does show a slight increase. WTIC News Time coming up on 3:04. And from the WTIC 24-hour traffic network, looks like we've gotten rid of the crashes we had in Cromwell and down in Norwalk. Again, do take it slow if you happen to be out today with the road situation. Again, the highways for the most part, 84, 91, Route 2, 291, pretty much down to bare pavement, although there could be some slick spots as well. It's those local roads, those secondary roads and side streets that may be a whole other story if you're headed out. Let's check the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
The weather is sure not on our side going forward following the storm cleanup, as dangerous conditions with the temperature dropping down to a low of 2 above tonight with a clear sky and rather breezy. AccuWeather real feel of 5 below, so snow-covered roads and many icy spots expected. Increasing clouds, a few flurries tomorrow afternoon with a high of 21. The real feel temperature 12. Tomorrow night clear down to 4 below with a real feel of 8 below zero, so dress in multiple layers to stay warm. Also, there could be pipe burst in that type of weather. Increasing amounts of sunshine on Wednesday, the high 21. A mix of sun and clouds Thursday up to 21. Mostly sunny Friday, the high 16. Mostly cloudy on Saturday, the high 21. This is meteorologist Chad Merrill in the WTIC Weather Center.
Dow's up 335 points. NASDAQ's ahead 138, and the S&P's up 43. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Columbia Dental has great care close to home. Our state-of-the-art network connects all 12 Connecticut locations, making appointments easy. Plus, our Waterbury office now offers a prosthodontist for specialized care. Schedule your appointment today, 860-645-0111.
Hey everyone, I'm Josh Radner, and I am so excited to tell you about How We Made Your Mother, a rewatch podcast looking back at How I Met Your Mother. And I'm here with Craig Thomas, who co-created the show along with with Carter Bays. Hi, Craig.
Hey, Josh. Somehow it has been 20 years since the show premiered. I'm going to check the math on that. 10 years since it went off the air, and we thought that made this a perfect time to look back, see what the hell we did, and why the show still seems to resonate with fans around the world today.
Follow and listen to How We Made Your Mother wherever you get your podcast.
The Peter L. Brown Company is known for quality vinyl siding. Our prices include all labor and materials to complete your job. Unlike some companies that offer low-cost vinyl siding but have hidden charges. It's winter and we need to keep our crews busy. So ask us about our winter specials and available financing. The Peter L. Brown Company, serving area homeowners since 1960. Please visit peterlbrown.com for roofing, siding, windows, and doors.
Peter L. Brown, we do it right the first time.
Why choose Affordable Baths? Because they're the only ones that give you the price up front. The other guys don't. The other guys install roofs, siding, windows, and doors. Affordable Baths installs bathrooms, just bathrooms, and they use Kohler fixtures. The other guys don't. Affordable Baths has a showroom that you can see, feel, and touch what you're buying. With the other guys, you'll never see your salesperson after you sign the deal. At Affordable Baths, they're with you every step of the way. So the question is not why would you buy from Affordable Baths, it's when will you work with Affordable Baths. Keep it affordable at AffordableBaths.com.
Last year, I had back pain radiating down my right leg. The pain was so bad I was willing to cut my leg off to stop the pain. I could barely walk and had to stoop over when I did just to take pressure off the spine. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. In my professional career, I've represented thousands of people who've had herniated discs and issues with their neck and back, but never fully appreciated what they were going through until it was my turn. It's like trying to describe colors to a blind person who's never had sight. All I can tell you is it hurt like hell, but worse. My daily walk was gone, and that bothered me a great deal. Then I thought of all of you and how much more devastating this type of injury could be for you. My life stopped. I now feel your pain. Just know at Morgan & Morgan, we got your back. I understand. Morgan means more.
Irby Fisher. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
And you may have heard breaking news that Tim Walz and Jacob Fry are going to coordinate and cooperate with Donald Trump, the President of the United States. And look, is this going to hurt Tim Walz? Not one bit. Tim Walz is not running for re-election, and he's got bigger fish to fry. Donald Trump posted on Truth Social a couple of hours ago. Governor Tim Walz called me with the request to work together with respect to Minnesota. It was a very good call, and we actually seem to be on a similar wavelength. I told Governor Walz that I would have Tom Homan call him, and that what we are looking for are any and all criminals that they have in their possession. The governor very respectfully understood that, and I will be speaking to him in the near future. He was happy that Tom Homan was going to Minnesota, and so am I. We have had such a tremendous success in Washington, D.C., Memphis, Tennessee, and New Orleans, Louisiana, and virtually every other space that we have touched. And even in Minnesota, crime is way down. Both Governor Walz and I want to make it better. President Donald J. Trump. Now, what would make Tim Walz, a guy who just this weekend said that they'll be writing stories about Minnesota, similar to stories about Anne Frank. Goodness gracious. Anyway, comparing it to, day 3 at Gettysburg. Coming out on his lawn and by his fence with a bullhorn. Go out there and do your blah, 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 blah. Rallying up the crowd. What changed? What would make Tim Walz sleep with the enemy? I mean, come on. Isn't that what he's doing? He said the federal government needs to get out of town. We don't need you here. You're making matters worse. And now, here's Tim Walz, according to the president, rolling out the red carpet for the border czar. Some of you have got to be saying to yourself, oh, Tim Walz, he's just luring the president in. Listen, let me applaud your stupidity. In fact, if Cheryl Lynn was here, your stupidity deserves an encore. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Let me tell you what it's about. Cam Higbee, who's an independent journalist, well, he seems to have infiltrated the infamous Signal app. You guys remember it? Huh? With Pete Hegseth? Remember? The big Atlantic piece where so-called classified information was disseminated or given to a journalist at the Atlantic. Remember all that? Signal. Many of you never even heard of the app. Well, it's very, very popular amongst people who wish to hide things, like the U.S. government. But as it turns out, also do the rabble-rousers in Minnesota. Cam Higbee infiltrated several Minneapolis area Signal group chats, like Southside RR Daily, with 754 members of the Minnesota Ice Watch and similar regional ones, used by far less activists, organizers, and critically, some tied into public officials who coordinate in tracking down, doxing, and disrupting ICE agent operations. These chats allegedly include assigned spotters, sharing license plate data, possibly via national access claims, protest logistics, and even training manuals for impeding federal enforcement. It's being called SIG-HE. He infiltrated several Minneapolis area Signal groups like actually, that just repeated itself. I'm sorry. The prominent names who are exposed in this Signal group are some people you may or may not know. Let's go with somebody you won't know, like Anita Smithson. She's tied to state-level roles of activism and is identified as a participating administrator in the chats. Amanda Kohler. She's a former campaign advisor and staffer for the governor of Minnesota. That would be Tim Walz. This one was scary. And I had to double check my sources to make sure that this was not false. And I can confirm to you the next name on this list is on the Signal chats. Ladies and gentlemen, the late Alex Preddy. The activist reportedly active in a Minnesota Signal group tracking, targeting ICE. He is the man who was killed this weekend. And also, last but not least, because obviously a staffer of Tim Walz should have been the icing on the cake, but it was not. Peggy Flanagan, the Minnesota Lieutenant Governor, is also in the Signal chat, organizing. You might remember her. We played her audio right here on the show where she told people to put their bodies on the line. Remember? Yes. So if you're wondering, gee, why did Tim Walz just cave? Well, the FBI is on the job. Kash Patel on the job. Pam Bondi on the job. And they've already got a scandal with billions of dollars. Donald Trump yesterday on Truth Social posted as much as $20 billion is in question now. Forget about the meager $9 billion that people are talking about. Donald Trump says it's up to $20 billion. I don't doubt him, and neither should you. Everybody who pushes back on him, which, by the way, you've seen none of anywhere, right? No one is saying, Donald Trump is now saying there's $20 billion in fraud happening in Minnesota. Nobody's pushing back on it for two reasons, folks. One, they don't want to bring attention to this anymore. And they don't want to be seen showing cover for Minnesota or the Somalians, because then the story would go right back to that, and then that would be the conversation. We know it. The bulk of the 700-plus member chats are everyday allies, handles, pronoun-heavy, quirky names like organizers, spotters, relays, not household national names, but the hook is the alleged ties to Walz's orbit. Some of the organizers are there. There are even members of the press. One particular journalist is somebody from the Ohio Press Networks. A guy, they say, is named Jack Windsor. There's also another story about an NPR reporter who may indeed be tangled in all of this. Well, that's nothing new. For those of you who do know, back in the 2012s, there was a group called Occupy Wall Street. And when the hack took place, there was hacking that went on in all of that. They found out that there were actual reporters who were, in essence, bolstering the efforts of Occupy Wall Street. We're talking about reporters, journalists, who were coordinating with the people in Occupy Wall Street, giving it all of its oxygen because they wanted it to grow. And this Signalgate thing, there you have it. And now all of a sudden, Tim Walz is playing nice. And this is the part, you know, I hate to bring up the name, but I'm going to anyway. You might remember last year, one of my biggest arguments with obvious fools were saying, oh, the protests are not paid for. These are organic. These are true Americans who are upset about the current administration and the fascist behavior of Donald Trump. And none of it is real. None of it is true. There is no real groundswell of people who are upset, which is why every time you see the polling data, now you would think, right, with all the people in the streets, with people screaming and hollering and throwing things and attacking hotels we got now, attacking federal agents, you would think that, and by the way, you're also led to believe that the movement is growing because more and more people show up. You're saying, yes, look at this. And again, you're looking at this not under a microscope, but through a magnifying glass. That's what's happening. There's a difference, right? With a telescope, or with a microscope. With a microscope, you're investigating. You're finding out the inner workings. If you see it through a magnifying glass, you think it's bigger than it is. So through a magnifying glass, you're thinking, oh, this thing is growing. Look at all of the destruction. Look at all the screaming. Look at all the hollering. Look at all the news coverage. It's so big. Remember, that's what they said about L.A. Remember what the left was telling us about L.A., CNN and MSNBC? Yeah, L.A.'s not under mob rule. It's just happening in one city block. It's not what everybody else is reporting. You're just seeing it on the news. It's small fries, small potatoes. It's just happening on one block. Remember that? Same thing here. But you are led to believe that it is everywhere, and that's the selective nature of all of this. When it's important to them, keep promoting it. Alex Pretty, Renee Good, keep promoting it. Use certain language, U.S. citizen, ICE will kill you, ICE is the Gestapo. These things all happen for a reason. And then a guy like Harry Enton comes out and he does polling data on Democrats. Again, these operations are meant to bolster the popularity of Democrats to show that they are fighting this obviously authoritarian administration. And what happens when every time the polling data comes out? It's nothing. It's barely moved an inch. 57%, 62% hate the Democrats of their own party. It's like, we're gaining no ground? And I keep pointing it out. Why is it that you're gaining no ground? Because this is not the base. This is not the Democrat Party. This is the paid rabble-rousers. Hell, folks, with all due respect, this is no different than the Klan's usage of Democrats back in the Jim Crow era to rabble-rouse and to burn things down. These people are domestic terrorists. The objective is to intimidate, and then people get on the news. And you know who you are. Some of you Republicans have done it too. You get on and say, the president needs to retreat and get those ICE agents out. This is just too much to bear. They all need to go home. All of a sudden, because they think the optics are bad. And that's how politics works. They look at the optics and they go, this looks bad the way it's playing out on television. You know, you have 2 Americans who have been shot. Notice they said 2 Americans who have been shot and killed. Notice that they didn't care about the 2 illegals who were shot at the Texas facility in Dallas. Not one care. Why weren't they martyred? Why? Because the person who shot them was trying to kill ICE agents. That's why. And God bless that son of a gun for taking his own life. That's right. I'm sorry. Sorry. He was on a rooftop, ladies and gentlemen. Call me. He was on a rooftop shooting at innocent people. Your people, the people he was trying to protect. Those, he was so inept, instead of shooting ICE agents, which was his goal, he ended up shooting the people he was up there to so-called protect. And he ended up shooting illegals. And then, when he was cornered, he did the wise thing. Okay? I would have loved to have him serve his time in perpetuity. But that man was a menace. Anyway, I move on. Sort of digress here. The point of the matter is that nothing about this is organic. And when someone finds out that it's fake and it's phony, they just move on. And then you folks, sorry, got to say it, you folks who don't know any better, you fall for it the next time it comes around. So let me give you a little bit of guidance here. This is important. You need to understand this is important to you, okay? If the news media is giving it feverish coverage, it isn't real. You have to understand it, okay? This is, just understand, okay? It's never real. And I will give you sort of an analysis that makes sense. You ever ask yourself, why is it that certain stories you deem very important aren't covered and these stories are? You say to yourself, yeah, but I mean, it's just a bunch of people burning stuff down and breaking things. Why are they paying so much attention to it? It's like every day, ad nauseum. Why? There's a reason for that. It's to be ingrained. This is the indoctrination of the news media. Constantly telling you and framing it a certain way. Fox News does it too. I got no allegiance to any of them. I don't care. It's got nothing to do with that. My objective is to make sure that you know. And that's why. Keep spinning the narrative. They have a job to do. They need you to believe. They need you to understand. They need you to be, this is my favorite word they use now, informed. That's what the whole purpose is. Be informed. Can I let you in on a little secret? This is funny because I like this guy. I do. I love this guy, and I love his show. We watch it every day, Roseanne and I. Jesse Waters. Do you ever notice on Fridays he does something very interesting, a bit called Sink or Swim, where he has 2 news folks sit with him and they do a game show about news events as they happen? And the objective is to see if the person on the panel in the game show remembers the news of the day, and then you play along at home. It's like Jeopardy. That's a little bit of indoctrination too, ladies and gentlemen. That's the whole thing. That's the whole game about news, is to get you to remember the news and the way it's portrayed, for you to trust them and to go to them, because ratings are what matters. I know I'm telling people how the cookies are made, but again, like I told you, not that I have to keep telling you, I've got no allegiance to this thing. I'm here to expose it. I'm the Penn and Teller of the news media. For those of you who know that reference, You get it. For those of you who don't, let me explain it to you. Penn and Teller love to do this routine where they show you how the magic trick is done. And again, they're magicians. Like, why would they do that? That's the whole point. They love magic so much, they're not in the business of fooling you. They're in the business of showing you how it's done. And that is just as good. So, I figured I'd just share it with you. That's all. When we come back, we'll take some phone calls if you like. 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. There was a bunch of kids that left a Georgia school to protest ICE. We'll talk about why Reese on the Radio applauds these idiots not going to class. Because to be honest, they are wasting their teachers' time. We'll explain all of that coming up as well. Also, I've got the stupidest thing I read today. Don't think we forgot about that. We have not. We'll talk about that. And, this new movie that I have to watch. I haven't seen yet, but I saw the trailer, and I saw John Stossel's report on it called The Coddling of the American Mind. This is such a good movie, and I haven't even seen it yet, and I know how good it is just from watching the trailer. Also, I want to talk about, I want to thank John Silva. John Silva let me in on something last week that I didn't know. Because a lot of you were concerned or confused about whether or not the snowstorm was called Fern or Benjamin. Well, I am finally going to break that stupid narrative once and for all. And you never have to worry about what this storm is called ever again. So stand by for that. More news, more views. It's Reese on the Radio.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
I can't get the signal. Okay, seriously. Now there's absolutely no excuse not to listen to WTIC News Talk 1080. You can literally hear us anywhere when you listen on your smartphone. And now you can hear us on the Odyssey app, the iHeartRadio app, and the TuneIn app. So pick your favorite and search and follow WTIC News Talk 1080 in the app. Then listen wherever you are. It's really that easy. So no more, I can't get the signal. We've made it easy. WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
And now, a WTIC news update.
22 degrees at 3:30. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Snow's over for the most part, but the mess lingers on. And the big dig out underway. Most areas of the state received a foot of snow, and other areas as much as 18 inches, perhaps even more. Schools were closed today. Hartford has already decided to keep the kids home for another day as local municipal cleanup continues. As far as getting around, it's doable, but you do need to take it slow. Highways are in fairly decent shape, all things considered. It's those local secondaries and side streets that may be tough to navigate with still some snowpack and also the big snow piles on the side of the road. And with temperatures not expected to climb much past 20 degrees over the next week, plus Governor Lamont's extending the severe cold weather protocol. It'll now be in effect until Thursday, February 5th at noon. Single digit and below zero temps are expected at night on some nights. Those who need info on warming shelters and other services are urged to call United Way 211. Airports playing catch up at Bradley. They're open, but the backlog of canceled flights considerable. 38% of the flights canceled over the weekend. Tweed New Haven also, Bradley did not close. Tweed New Haven did close, and they reopened earlier today. First flight out of there was expected at 12:10. Flight to Concord, North Carolina. At least 18 weather-related deaths have been reported. As the work week began, the heaviest snow fell from New York northward to New England. Heavy ice down south snapped branches and power lines, leaving hundreds of thousands of homes and businesses without electricity. In fact, last estimate was about 800,000 were still without service. Federal judge hearing arguments on whether she should at least temporarily halt the immigration crackdown in Minnesota. That has led to a pair of fatal shootings by ICE agents this month. WTIC News Time is 3:32 from the WTIC 24-hour traffic network. We've got a closure to report on an area highway. This is in Enfield. Southbound side of 91 is closed between exits 47E and 46 due to a two-vehicle crash. Here's the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
Following the snow, breezy this evening, turning out clear, frigid overnight with a low temperature of 2 above, the AccuWeather real field temperature 5 below. Increasing clouds, a few afternoon flurries. Tomorrow, the high temperature 21, the real field temperature 12 above. Clear, bitterly cold, down to 4 below zero tomorrow night, the real field temperature of 8 below zero. And Wednesday, a mix of sun and clouds with a high temperature of 21. This is meteorologist Chad Merrill in the WTIC Weather Center.
All right, 22 cloudy skies right now in Hartford. Half hour before the close, the Dow's up 370 points. The Nasdaq's ahead 138, and the S&P is up 45. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking Active Liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com or at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
Men, the new year is here, and if you're like many of us, you're ready to improve your health. But if you're feeling sluggish, low energy, if your sleep is off, or if you're hitting the gym but not seeing real progress, keeping that resolution can be tough. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if those symptoms sound familiar, we can likely help. They often point to low testosterone, and treating low T is what we do. But this year, we're also helping men go further with targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1, PDA, and more, designed to boost energy, support metabolism, enhance recovery, and accelerate fat loss. With our low T treatments, combined with our body composition programs, most men notice real improvements. More energy, better focus, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and often a renewed sex drive as well. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or visit northeastmenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Lenseek.
Artificial intelligence could see some hiccups in 2026. A Deutsche Bank analyst note warns that this year will be AI's hardest year yet due to three themes: disillusionment, dislocation, and distrust. Deutsche says businesses are frustrated by the slow move of AI from testing to production, while the industry faces component shortages and anxiety from the public over the impact of AI on jobs. I'm Jason Brooks.
At Lenseek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply today with no cost or obligation at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Injured? Dial pound law.
Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You know, this is one of those topics that no one really wants to think about, but if you're a parent, a homeowner, married, or helping take care of aging parents, it's something that honestly deserves a little attention. I'm talking about estate planning. And before you tune out thinking it's complicated or expensive, that's actually why I want to mention Trust and Will. Trust and Will makes estate planning feel way less intimidating than it sounds. They offer modern, attorney-designed wills and trusts that you can create online. And the process is surprisingly straightforward. In fact, you can create a will in as little as 30 minutes. That includes things like guardianship for your kids or pets, how your assets are distributed, and even healthcare directives. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your loved ones with Trust and Will, the most trusted name in online estate planning. Go to trustandwill.com/plan to get 20% off. That's trustandwill.com/plan for 20% off. trustandwill.com/PLAN.
Listen to WTIC News Talk 1080 on the free Odyssey app. Download and like WTIC today for alerts on special programming.
We're going to have more details on what's going on with Donald Trump and Tim Walz. I do understand there's a story that just came over the wire about another shooting with someone that ICE was pursuing that's led to shots being fired. So we'll get into that shortly. As soon as I have more details on that, we'll talk about it at length. What I also want to talk about today is this investigation into Blue Hills and how it relates to Senator Doug McCrory. And there's an interesting avenue that people will not touch. And I know why they won't touch it. So it's a third rail. And I wrote a Substack about it. If you want to read it, go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com and look up Substack. Just scroll down. You get to the Substack page. You can read it for free. And what I'm sort of say as a subtitle is that racial politics are costing us billions. And there's a reason why it is. And it's not in my article, because that will be the next article, and I'll lay it all out for you. But I'm going to kind of do it. I'm going to freestyle it today on what the problem is. And I know this, and everybody in America knows this. You cannot spend money in order to be prosperous. That's not how it works. You only gamble that way. That idea only works for gambling, not for prosperity. You understand? And I'll use my good friend and producer, Roland, here. Can I borrow you for a second? You don't have to chime in on the racial politics, but I want to engage you in this conversation because you do something I don't do, and that is you gamble a bit. not ridiculously, not perversely. You gamble here and there, right? You're not a guy who's like a big bucks guy. I don't want to call you a nickel and dimer either. But what would you call?
That's okay.
Okay, what would you call your gambling as a habit or as a vice or as something you enjoy doing? How would I describe it?
It's between a vice and something I enjoy doing.
Okay, so a hobby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't gamble all year long, just during football season, really.
Right. Okay. Now, you never put yourself, or you're not in the business of putting yourself in debt or in danger financially when you do this, right?
Not anymore.
Oh, okay.
When I first started, this was years ago.
Please talk to me.
When you're not used to doing something,
yeah,
and then you start doing something, and it, you get all that rush, and I won early. I started gambling. When I first started, I was hitting all the time.
Yeah.
So then that makes you spend more. That makes you think, oh, I'm going to win.
Yes.
I'm going to win tonight because you've won multiple times, and not realizing that it's just like football. Like when you have that momentum and you throw an interception, now your momentum's going away. That's kind of how gambling is.
Yeah.
When you're on a run, you can win back to back to back, and then when that momentum leaves you, you have to kind of figure that out. Like, oh, the momentum is gone. Let me lay low for a little bit.
Let me fall back a bit.
Yeah.
And then maybe pursue this in another way, or maybe sort of innovate, if you will.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's only through trial and error. I had to. I believe I spent I got paid on one day, and by the end of the day, that whole check was gone.
Right.
And I had to go and tell my spouse that.
Ooh.
And that was the turning point.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, because it hurts. That hurt so bad that I had to go tell her, hey, I had this issue, and I couldn't stop myself from.
So you needed her to, in essence, be that sort of buffer, right? To the person.
Not buffer. I just knew that I never wanted to feel that way again.
Wow. Well, let me ask you this. How do you feel about the term often used in gambling that scared money don't make none? You know that term.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scared money is dead money is what they say.
Okay. So usually that means, if I'm to understand that term, it means don't be afraid, go all out in some cases. Like if you don't throw some money down, you're not going to win any. So in essence, it's not telling you to hedge. It's saying sometimes you got to go all out in order to win, right?
Correct.
Okay. That's the point I'm making here. Now, I've never understood gambling. I understand drinking. What do I understand about drinking? Is that the more I drink, the more drunk I get. I never liked anything where I lost something from it, right? I would love to, like if I spent more money and I gained more money, I would be a gambler.
Yeah.
Right? If the drinking thing is I drink more for the added, what's the added result? The result is I get drunk. The more I drink, the more I get drunk. The more I gamble, if I'm losing money, that's in the opposite direction of where I want to be, which again is why I don't have that addiction and some people do.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the point that I'm trying to understand in the gambling world, is that when you win, and when you lose, how do you get back to winning? And that is the scared money don't make none. You can take your losses, but in order to win anywhere in this game, you have to keep going out and throw money in after it, right?
Yeah. Sometimes you got to fall back, and sometimes you got to double up. But you have to be able to know
your limits.
Which is which.
Yeah.
Which is which time.
Okay, good. I'm so glad you meant, because that clears up everything I need to know. Thank you so much, Roland. So here's my point, folks. And in that understanding, think about what I'm saying with this Blue Hills and the $15 million that went into Blue Hills. The Blue Hills $15 million went to an organization called the Prosperity Foundation. It was established in 2010 by Howard Hill, a Hartford area funeral home owner and board member of the Connecticut Minority Business Initiative. Its stated mission is to promote philanthropy, prosperity, and self-empowerment within the Black community. The organization saw its revenue surge from $329,000 in 2020 to $2.7 million in 2024, largely driven by government grants. Now, what those government grants do is that they are thrown in. That's the gamble. Hey, let's give them $2.5 million, and we're going to bet on them to empower people to become prosperous. That's the gamble. That's how all of these groups work. How these grants work. We're going to give them the money. We're going to inject this money, into them, and then they are going to do well. But here's the deal. That's not how prosperity works. It's never worked that way. But the black community and these groups will tell you that all the time. What we need is just a hand. Name a business who worked that way. In order for a business to survive, even if it took out a loan, it had to have something at risk, something as collateral. You put your house up. You put your car up. You put a lot of things. You put capital up. Things that can be traded off of the loan. It's never for free. And because of the risk of losing those things, you work your tail off to be prosperous, even if you don't make a dime or even pay yourself after 10 years. The objective is to break even, sometimes lose, but eventually, finally, earn a profit. And that has no timetable, ladies and gentlemen, but when you inject it into these organizations with no proven ideology, no proven, proof of concept. No proof of concept. It fails every time. And that's what these stupid grants are for. Let's just keep giving them money, thinking that they're going to turn $2 million into 15. It never works that because none of these organizations has a plan. What they want is to disperse that money and keep it for themselves and pay folks until the money has run out. A prosperity group is supposed to have a prosperity plan. Here's the thing. Has anyone asked Mr. Hill what the prosperity plan is? Anyone? Has anyone seen his proof of concept that he gave to the state to get $2.5 million? Or did he just present something that says, hey, we help us out? I think the latter took place. Doug McCrory, with all due respect to his title, is a politician. Please tell me where Doug McCrory has ever turned a business into a success. I'd like to know. I've heard nothing. These organizations are not built to grow. They are built to fleece. They are built to take money, to suck it up. They are porous because there is no plan. It's a payoff. It's a slush fund. It is done to do nothing more than to guarantee votes. They use these names like prosperity. I love those names. It's like saying you have a black friend in order to prove you're not racist. If you're a prosperity organization, you don't have to put it in your name. You as an organization speaks for itself. If you have to put prosperity in your name, you don't represent prosperity. You are using the name as if to suggest, it's like wearing a gold chain in a rap video. See, I've got money. But underneath, the chain is made with Snapple glass and not diamonds. It's a fraud. We'll talk about it. Stand by. We got more news and more views. I'll read this report by Mark Fitch from the Connecticut Inside Investigator when we return, plus your phone calls. It's Reese on the Radio.
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too. Newsmax has been terrific.
President Trump is right. Millions like you are tuning into Newsmax. You're watching Newsmax on cable. You're going to our streaming channel, Newsmax 2. And you're downloading our free Newsmax app on your smartphones and TVs. Reuters Institute says we're now one of the top news brands in the nation. Every night, watch great shows with Rob Schmidt, Carl Higbie, Rob Finnerty, and more as they expose the big media lies, the Washington swamp, and they're never afraid to talk about faith, freedom, and the values that made us great. Find out why Newsmax is the fastest growing news channel in America. Make the switch today and join our news revolution. Get Newsmax on cable, on streaming, and download the free app today. It takes just seconds to start. Let President Trump know you stand with Newsmax. It's for real news, for real people. Make the switch today.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
Paid for by government. The 1986 to 2021 United States Silver Eagle, the first ever U.S. silver dollar minted in 99.9% pure silver and is the best-selling coin in the world. These original and historic silver dollars have ceased production forever. They will never be minted again. For a limited time only, full-pound bags of original U.S. government-struck silver dollars are being released to the public. You can own a full pound of original U.S. silver dollar coins featuring Lady Liberty and the heraldic eagle, never to be struck again. Guaranteed. Call now to secure original United States Silver Eagles by the pound. The first U.S. silver dollars ever to be struck in 99.9% pure silver. Plus, receive a free bonus, an American Collector's Pack valued at over $40 and free shipping with every order. Call 1-800-560-6468 now to secure your full pound bag of United States Silver Eagle coins before they are gone. That's 1-800-560-6468.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
By the way, if I were you, I'd go look up the Prosperity Company. I would go look them up. Just ask the simple question on Grok. Did the Prosperity Foundation produce any prosperity? It ain't good. It ain't good. They just spent the money. That's all it did. It was the whole purpose was just to spend money. They get a grant and they just burst it. They just give it. If anybody prospered, it was, nobody. They get the money, and you're supposed to turn that money. It's like, my wife used to say it all the time. Give me $10, I'll make it 20. Give me $20, I'll make it 50. That's Roseanne. So tell me that from the beginning. I'm pretty sure you guys know a woman who's like that. Don't worry, I'll make your money work for you, baby. That's the partner you got to have. The guy says, give me $2.5 million, and I'll spend your $2.5 million. That's exactly what happened. That's what they're doing. Let's take Jerry real quick before we take a break. Hello, Jerry.
Hey, Reese, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, man, you're good. What's up?
Hey, I was calling about the signal thing and the James O'Keefe follow-up to that.
Yes.
And it was just as you started covering it. That's why I wanted to call. And certainly it really sounds like this is we kind of knew it, but this is sort of proof that this is an orchestrated insurrection coming from the governor's office.
Indeed.
But
This is making January 6th look like a riot at the mall. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, Jack Smith, maybe get him on this.
Yeah, indeed.
You had mentioned about how the media covers stories that aren't really that, enormous, and they ignore some stories that are enormous. And
Indeed.
the three that come to mind are, watch the network news tonight if you want to, if you're a masochist, to see how much coverage Signal story gets.
Indeed.
But there's two other big stories. I mean, one, there's some coverage, and that is, and this is what I'm calling the other thing is what's going on in Iran.
Mm-hmm.
But also apparently there was an astronaut that took sick, and in remarkably quick order, SpaceX and NASA came together, sent a rocket ship up, rescued the astronaut, brought the astronaut back to Earth with some crew and the sick person, splash landed safely, and now they're in some sort of hospital.
It was an incredible rescue mission of all things, right? And space exploration used to be, I mean, I would almost consider it like the top news story anywhere. Like we would actually break into regular programming to cover that, especially the splashdown.
And there was nothing. I mean, not just the rescue, but how quickly it came together.
Indeed. Yeah, because usually a mission like that would take about a couple of months.
So with regards to the Iran situation, there's a China connection here.
Yes.
And that is that the People's Republic of China has invested, a Belt and Road thing, an enormous amount of money in Iran.
Mm-hmm.
And if the Iranian government falls, they suffer. Or at least they could potentially lose.
They forfeit
what they've invested. So it's in their interest for the United States not to facilitate any sort of regime change into Iran.
Mm.
So in comes Tim Walz, right? Like most Democrats, Walz knows that every immigration enforcement is voter suppression.
That's right.
He also knows that the ruckus contributes to distracting from the Somali fraud scandal.
Also true.
Apparently he's knee deep in. But Walz, unlike any other Democrats, went to Red China dozens of times. And I think when he was even in the United States military, and unlike the Bidens who had to be bribed to work for Red China, he seems to be a true believer. So I'm wondering if he's getting a call from his handlers in Beijing, this is all hypothetical, saying, hey, we need a domestic insurrection in the United States to distract Trump from
Iran.
Forcefully in Iran.
That's a good point. You know what? I'm going to address that in the next hour. But thank you for that, Jerry. I appreciate it. You always a good call, man. Thank you. I got to get to the weather and traffic. Thanks, man. Let's get to our first check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Keep the speeds down. Could be slippery in some spots. There's some different ranges of road quality right now. Some bare pavement. Others, you got slush. So definitely use caution. We do have an accident now, 91 southbound in Enfield. Highway shut down at 47E. The accident between 47E and 46 reported as a two-vehicle accident by the DOT. Now, northbound 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown. Both sides of 84. Okay, seeing some slow traffic, especially on the westbound side of 84 between, let's call it exit 63 and exit 59 in Manchester. Could be some plowing going on out there. You might be stuck behind some snow plows. 2 westbound looking good. Glastonbury and East Hartford quiet. Middletown. Waterbury's okay. 84 and 8. 91 of the Parkway moving well toward New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
The weather is sure not on our side going forward following the storm cleanup, as dangerous conditions with the temperature dropping down to a low of 2 above tonight with a clear sky and rather breezy. AccuWeather real feel of 5 below, so snow-covered roads and many icy spots expected. Increasing clouds, a few flurries tomorrow afternoon with a high of 21. The real feel temperature 12. Tomorrow night, clear down to 4 below with a real feel of 8 below zero, so dress in multiple layers to stay warm. Also, there could be pipe burst in that type of weather. Increasing amounts of sunshine on Wednesday, the high 21. A mix of sun and clouds Thursday up to 21. Mostly sunny Friday, the high 16. Mostly cloudy on Saturday, the high 21. This is meteorologist Chad Merrill in the WTIC Weather Center.
This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
4 o'clock, Hartford temperature 22 degrees. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Big cleanup from the big storm is in full force. Anywhere from a foot, and in some areas, 1.5 feet of snow fell. There are still some lingering snow showers. Those are, though, pretty much have come to an end. Big cleanup, though, is continuing. Main highways overall in decent shape. Still might have some snow cover on some of those back roads, secondary roads and side streets locally as municipalities continue the cleanup effort on that end. Ban on commercial vehicles was lifted early this morning. Some local parking bans are still in effect. Hartford lifted its ban as of 1 o'clock. As for schools, most if not all were closed today. Hartford's already called off classes for Tuesday as well. Regarding the airports, slowly getting back to normal. Bradley open, but playing catch-up after 38% of the flights there were canceled over the weekend, although the airport did stay open. Tweed, New Haven closed. They reopened earlier this morning. First flight out of there was 12:10, scheduled for Concord, North Carolina. When removing snow and ice from around the home, don't forget to clear those exterior vents, says Chris Herb, the president and CEO of the Connecticut Energy Marketers Association, SEMA. He says that includes vents tied to heating systems and gas dryers.
Those side vents are adequately cleared so that those gases can move away from the home so that your family doesn't get sick.
He also says make sure you clear a path to the pipe leading to home heating oil. The delivery person can have a safe trip to fill up the tank with oil or what have you. Other news, the White House is placing blame for the second deadly shooting by federal agents in Minneapolis. Stacey Lynn reports.
Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said the death of Alex Peretti was a, quote, result of the deliberate and hostile resistance by Democrat leaders in Minnesota.
Governor Walz and Mayor Frey have shamefully blocked local and state police from cooperating with ICE.
She said they've also used their platforms
to encourage left-wing agitators to stalk, record, confront, and obstruct federal officers who were just trying to lawfully perform their duties.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
Now, President Trump and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz spoke by phone today. Then, Walz penned a Wall Street Journal op-ed piece. Wendy Gillette has that.
Governor Walz writes that the Trump administration is bringing a campaign of organized brutality against the people of Minnesota that's not just, legal, and is not making anyone safer. He asserts that the actions of ICE agents, including the deadly shootings of Renee Good and Alex Peretti, are bringing chaos that is illegal and un-American.
And around here, one state lawmaker says constituents are concerned that more aggressive enforcement tactics by federal agents could be coming to this state. Democratic State Representative Rebecca Martinez of Plainville says these are U.S. citizens worried their families could be asked for proof of citizenship that they don't have to carry legally, she says.
But just afraid of sending their children out. They may not have IDs. Hearing case after case where people are being detained. They are citizens. All of these situations, I just believe it's evoking chaos.
An update on kids' vaccinations and what they should get has been released by the American Academy of Pediatrics. Not much different from last year's recommendations from the AAP. More states and doctors are relying on this info rather than the controversial schedule from the CDC. Dr. Celine Gounder is a CBS medical contributor.
The AAP says recent CDC changes move away from long-standing medical evidence and don't do enough to protect kids from preventable diseases. The AAP schedule sticks closer to past guidance and focuses on real-world risks for kids in the U.S.
AAP recommends children be vaccinated against 18 diseases, 6 more than the CDC calls for. CDC no longer recommends kids be vaccinated against Hep A and B, RSV, and the flu. Wall Street, the Dow up 313 points, NASDAQ up 100, S&P gained 34. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet, so make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
We're back. Now it's time for the stupidest thing I read today.
This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
Animal rescue volunteers on Long Island, New York, have been working tirelessly to save over 450 domesticated white rats discovered in a filthy condemned house in Rocky Point. The rodents were found roaming freely amid unsanitary conditions, with rescuers estimating about 30 more still hidden in the walls as a winter storm approaches. Frankie Floridia, presided over Strong Island Animal Rescue League, described the challenge of capturing the elusive animals in such a unique and overwhelming situation. Many of the rats suffered from mites, eye infections, bite wounds, and other health issues, but only a handful required euthanasia. Over 200 have found foster and adoptive homes locally, with additional support from out-of-state groups in Virginia and here in Connecticut. Wait, I don't care if a rat is white or brown or black. A rat is a rat. That's it. Who keeps rats as pets other than to feed them to your snake? I don't understand what. And again, we're talking about disease rats. Once the rats are no longer a part, like if the rats are part of a, what do you call it, like a lab? Okay, that's a lab rat. But then once it's crawled in the walls, that's a regular rat. That's a rat. And I don't care what color it is. We don't discriminate. White rat, red rat, rat. That's all it is. That's all I'm saying. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Mark, a rat is a rat no matter its color, right?
Yeah. If it looks like a rat, walks like a rat, and has a tail that's really long like a rat, it's a rat.
If it spent any time crawling through the walls, it's no longer a lab rat. It's a rat.
It's like a street rat. It's a street rat, man. It's a tough street rat.
It's got a mixtape now.
Knows exactly. Has a mixtape, a big boombox, and knows how to survive.
Exactly.
Hey, right now, Reese, we do have a road closure, and that's 91 southbound in Enfield between exit 47E and 46. The highway shut down at 47E because of a two-vehicle accident. 91 south between 47E and 46, so look out for that. If you're traveling northbound 91, that moves well. Cromwell up into Windsor. Westbound 84 from Farmington out, from Manchester out into Farmington, looking good. Eastbound 84, the same story, no problems. Farmington out into Vernon. Two westbounds in good shape. Glastonbury and East Hartford quiet. Middletown, Waterbury looks good. 91 in the Parkway, easy ride heading down in toward New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, following the snow we had, breezy this evening, clear, frigid overnight, the low temperature 2 above, the AccuWeather real feel temperature down to 5 below. Increasing clouds tomorrow, a couple of flurries in the afternoon with a high of 21. Clear, bitterly cold down to 4 below tomorrow night, feeling like 8 below zero. Sunshine mixing with a few clouds on Wednesday, the high 21. A mix of sun and clouds Thursday, the high 21. Mostly sunny, only 16 degrees on Friday. Right now it's 23 degrees in Bristol, 22 in Meriden, and 21 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Chad Merrill in the WTIC Weather Center.
For quality vinyl siding, the Peter L. Brown Company is your best choice. It's winter, and we need to keep our crews busy, so ask us about our winter specials. Please visit peterlbrown.com for roofing, siding, windows, and doors.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Yeah, I'm always stunned at when I do the stupidest thing, the reaction that I get. It always makes me feel good when you guys react to those stories, because when I'm reading them, I'm saying to myself, oh, they're going to love this. And these are real stories, folks. I wish they were phony, but they're real. I get them all the time. And I get a kick out of them every time I check them out. Anyway, so there's a documentary. Apparently, it's free. And I want to double check that it is. I think it is. It's called The Coddling of the American Mind. And a breakdown of this movie or this documentary is they take these 4 kids from colleges and universities, and they come from very diverse backgrounds and races, and talk about what they learned in college and how it affected their mind. John Stossel, who does these YouTube videos as well as on X, does about a 6-minute breaking down these stories. He finds them and they're very fascinating to him, so he'll do them. And of course, I enjoy watching them. Whenever he puts something new up, I enjoy it, especially when he does things like climate change or, certain liberal orthodoxy. John Stossel was one of my favorite people back in the days of 2020. A Barbara Wawa and Hugh Downs, who always spoke like Hugh Downs. I love the way he spoke. But Stossel's reports were always my favorite whenever he was on. And in true Stossel fashion, he's very intrigued by kicking over the orthodoxy. And this one is one. So he finds this documentary called The Coddling of the American Mind. If you're interested, it's at thecoddlingmovie.com. I'm going to watch it today. And I think it's on various platforms. I don't know if there's a cost, but if there is, pay for it. Watch it. It's good. And I know it's good having never seen it. All I did was do the trailer, and I knew it was going to be good. So as I said, that there are these 4 kids from diverse backgrounds. 1 black male, 1 black female, 1 white female, and 1, I presume, Indian male. You don't get that from the trailer, but the black and the white folks, I can totally pick them up. And I think there's another white young lady that's also featured. Anyway, so they follow these kids in their transformation, if you will, out of the indoctrination of school and how they were made to believe that they were less than. And it's such a fascinating thing that is happening in colleges and universities. But I think they're wrong because they shouldn't start there. This is happening in grade schools. And it's not just CRT. It's not just critical race theory. It isn't. That is the objective in school. And when you dumb down a kid, which again is very important for these folks. We used to say this all the time when we were growing up, especially in the black community. You know, they used to call it, you know, the school to jail pipeline. Right? That's where these kids were going to end up. And then they had another pipeline where the school to worker pipeline. They're just teaching you enough for you could get a job so you could get on the assembly line. All of these things were in essence designed for you to push back and to give the impression that you had to do more as an individual. You had a civic duty to uprise against the establishment. And also a part of the establishment was wealth. Doing well for yourself, getting an education, getting a good job. In essence, telling you that wasn't really for you because you're going to have to go to college. And you can't afford college. And what they have is planned for you. And the powers that be, you're just going to be another cog in the wheel. You're going to do this, you're going to do that. So it was easy to indoctrinate those kids by telling them that their life was meaningless. But guess what, kids? If you want your life to have meaning, perhaps you can take up this cause or that cause. And that's what they did in school. You could be a part of this group and that group. And you could join protests with your teacher on Saturdays. Remember that? Remember that? Hey, Amy, what are you doing this weekend? Mom, the teacher wants us to go to a rally tomorrow. Oh, that's great. Are you getting extra credit? Yes, and it'll go on my college. It would go on my college record as a credit. That was the whole idea. Getting these kids to come down there. I talked to you guys about this years ago with the whole recycling thing. That was how they got them into global warming. Go home and tell your mother how awful she is for not recycling her tuna cans. Go home and tell your dad he drinks a lot of beer, that he needs to put those cans not in the garbage, but put them in the recycling bin. Tell your brother to get rid of his Playboy magazines and save the earth. And put that paper in a recycling bin. Yes, all of that stuff. That was all they were telling these people, indoctrinating them for bigger and better causes. Now, why? Why do I bring all this up? Simple. At the Meadow Creek High School in Norcross, Georgia, it's in the Gwinnett County School District. It is a big, diverse public high school with about 2,600 students in grades 9 through 12. According to the latest demographics at this school, there are 76% Hispanic, 16% Black, 5% Asian, 2% white. After that, we've got down in the ones, two or more mixed races, 1%, American Indian or Alaskan Native, just greater than 1%. Native Hawaiian or Pacific Islander, just greater than 1%. On the proficiency level at this school, the math proficiency is around 17% of students proficient in math, and that is under the 39% average of all of Georgia. Reading and English language proficiency sits at about 20%. That is far below the 35 to 40% average of the whole state. This school allowed their students to leave the classroom and to engage in an anti-ICE protest. Think about it, folks. To show you exactly how dumb this is, they told us that they were fearful for kids inside their schools who might have ICE agents go inside and rip children from their arms and deport them. And this school decided to take those very children and put them out on the street, waiting to be picked up by ICE agents who would, obviously, if I was, I'd be sitting outside waiting for him. There you go. Get him. Get him. Get him. He's outside. He's all... He's free to grab. He's a free-range illegal. Get him. Why would these idiots bring them outside? Folks, there's a reason why their proficiency in reading and math is so low, because everybody at this school is a denut. Even the faculty. They're all idiots. They sent these kids out. They can't teach them. They can't learn. They're the dumbest amongst participants in the school system in Georgia. A minority white school. And we're talking about a major minority white school. And a majority Hispanic school. I mean, they really outnumber the blacks. And they sent the most vulnerable out onto the streets. And the crazy part is that these Hispanic kids eagerly ran out there. Couldn't wait. We're protesting ICE? Yeah, we'll go to the streets. Of course they were. Because what's the use of having them inside the classroom? What's the point? They're not learning anything. These kids don't know. What are they learning? Nothing. Zero. Nada. What's going to happen to these kids? Come on. You know what's going to happen to these kids. Huh? No, Jose, no. No, not that rose bed. This rose bed. Sorry. Come on, call me racist. I don't care. You know what's going to happen. These kids are not going to advance to anywhere. I mean, serious. They're not going to do better for themselves. They don't care to. Even if every one of those kids is a legal citizen in the United States, even if they were born here, what's their future? Nothing. Nothing. And they'll always be angry. They'll always be upset about how much they're behind, how much they don't have. And it'll be the blame of everybody else. It won't be the blame of the teachers who didn't work harder, who didn't demand more from them academically. No, what did those teachers do? They coddled those kids. They probably told them something ridiculous and racist, like, it's okay. A lot of people of your background aren't good at math. Reading is hard for a lot of people in your group. I remember watching that superintendent in California. He was talking about how the school system had improved and how many more kids were graduating. And they show him walking through the classroom, and he walks up to this one Spanish girl. He leans down to her, and he says, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" In his thick Hispanic accent. "What are you going to be when you grow up?" And the girl looked at him. She says, "I'm going to be an engineer." And he says, "Oh, look at you. You know, they don't let a lot of Hispanics do that." And everybody sat there and looked at him and said the same thing. Why would you tell her that? Why would you tell her that? You're supposed to be the principal of the school, and you just told that girl that people won't, way to dash their dreams. And that's the whole point of all of this. That's exactly what's going to happen to every one of these kids unless somebody shakes these kids up. They want to talk about being in a cult. These kids, if you watch this movie, I already saw the trailer. Every one of these kids was in a cult. And the worst part is that they noticed that it was destroying their minds. They were waking up every day feeling worse about themselves. Especially if they did not get the outcomes that they were told they needed to get. Cancel that person. One girl talks about how every day she would get online, calling the folks at Twitter to cancel Ben Shapiro, but he wouldn't get canceled, and it was driving her nuts that she couldn't get what she wanted because they told her she had to do it. And if she didn't get, she was depressed. She was angry. She spent all of her time doing it. I got to cancel him. I got to cancel him. And you wonder why these people are putting their lives at risk? They don't have a life. They didn't have one to begin with because everyone told them, and even their parents, sorry, some of you are responsible too, told them that they couldn't get ahead. There was nothing out there for them, that they were always going to be held back, that they were less than because of their skin color, telling them stupid things like my Uncle Nicky told me, the white man ain't going to let you do that. Why try? That's what's wrong with these kids, and that's what's wrong with these adults too, because they come from that same indoctrination nation. They all grew up under the same education system, every one of them. Worst part is that unlike the Weather Underground types and the Radical 60 types, out there, these people will never, ever be a part of power. They will never be the power brokers in history. They will never, ever. You want to know why? Because they're not smart enough. They're just not. They're not smart enough. They are not innovative enough. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, same exact. You know that woman is the dumbest person on earth. That's why becoming a congresswoman, that's the ceiling for that woman. That's it. If she becomes a senator in New York, that's a likelihood, but nothing better than that. I mean, if Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez ever thinks about becoming the president of the United States, I hope she fails miserably, and so should you. But I'm not worried about any of these kids. All of you kids that are running out there doing all these protests and stuff, leaving your school to go combat ICE that isn't raiding your neighborhoods. ICE is still operating here in Connecticut. You haven't stopped one of them. You've stopped none of them. Your protests have done nothing other than get you cameras. That's it. But go out there and protest. Nobody cares. Nobody matters. At the end of the day, you are zero in all of this. Your future is bleak. There's nothing to be outraged about. As far as I'm concerned, you guys are just a broken window and a broken record. When we come back, I forget what the hell I had. Oh, yeah. Mexico consulates and NGOs when we return. Stand by, plus your phone calls at 860-522-WTIC. Mark Christopher, he's in the PPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. This traffic report being brought to you by Columbia Implant Center in Manchester. And if you're making your way into downtown Hartford right now, look out for a problem that we had up in Enfield. I-91 is reportedly shut down by the DOT right at exit 47E. You're taking off the highway there because of an accident between 47E and 46. So look out for a delay there. If you are traveling south of that, moving well 91 south from Windsor down into Cromwell. Northbound 91's okay. Cromwell up into Winter Locks. 84 east and westbound, no issues. Cromwell, from Farmington out into Vernon to westbound, looking good. Glastonbury into East Hartford. Quiet Middletown 9 in the Arcody Bridge. Waterbury's okay. 84 and 891 in the Parkway, no problems heading down in toward New Haven. Traffic moves slow, but your transformation shouldn't. Columbia Implant Center provides full dental implants in just one visit. Open 7 days a week in Manchester to fit your busy life. Get your smile back today at ColumbiaImplantCenter.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
The weather is sure not on our side going forward following the storm cleanup, as dangerous conditions with the temperature dropping down to a low of 2 above tonight with a clear sky and rather breezy. AccuWeather real feel of 5 below, so snow-covered roads and many icy spots expected. Increasing clouds, a few flurries tomorrow afternoon with a high of 21. The real feel temperature 12. Tomorrow night, clear down to 4 below with a real feel of 8 below zero, so dress in multiple layers to stay warm. Also, there could be pipe burst in that type of weather. Increasing amounts of sunshine on Wednesday, the high 21. A mix of sun and clouds Thursday up to 21. Mostly sunny Friday, the high 16. Mostly cloudy on Saturday, the high 21. This is meteorologist Chad Merrill in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 4:30, Hartford temperature 21 degrees. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Powerful storm dumped snow, sleet, and freezing rain across a good chunk of the country. The snowfall totals in Connecticut, everyone pretty much received anywhere from a foot to perhaps a foot and a half of snow. State Department of Transportation, local cities, including Hartford, are thanking road crews for their hard work to clear the streets pretty much non-stop. The city of Hartford, the parking ban was lifted earlier today, but schools will remain closed on Tuesday as the cleanup operations continue. In fact, a number of districts have already decided to close school tomorrow. Some will be operating on delayed openings. Other news, the president is sending his border czar, Tom Homan, to Minnesota as protests in the state increase after a second deadly shooting involving ICE. Trump spoke earlier today with Governor Tim Walz. Israel says the remains of the final hostage in Gaza have been recovered. That'll pave the way for the next phase of the peace plan that ended the Israel-Hamas conflict. December job numbers out today from the Department of Labor. It says the unemployment rate inched up 4.2%. Payroll jobs were down by 500. Markets finished the day in positive territory on Wall Street. The Dow gained 313 points. The NASDAQ was up 100, and the S&P picked up 34 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Many times, a person hires a law firm after an injury without doing research. It can be a big mistake or not. Sometimes, after you have hired a certain lawyer, you realize you made a certain mistake. But guess what? Just because you hire them doesn't mean you can't fire them. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you think you've hired the wrong firm, you may have. So do this. Google Morgan & Morgan results or visit forthepeople.com for cases just like yours. You may find that our full-service injury firm should have been your choice in the first place. Last year, almost 12,000 people discharged their law firm and hired us after further research. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. Visit forthepeople.com today and let's get started. Or call Pound Law on your cell phone. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Irby Fisher. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55. But unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
And when we come back, I'm probably going to have to ask a question. I may have to recant something that I said I wasn't going to do because I got this great text message. Should I read? I should read it. I totally should read it. It was such a nice letter or note, I should say, that I got over the weekend. And let me see if I can find it real quick. Is this we were talking back and forth only briefly, and no, this isn't the person. I have to find her. Please, please, please don't let me have lost her. Yes, here it is. This is it. Anyway, Yeah, I have time to read it. This comes from Catherine. And this happened on Saturday at about just before noon. Catherine, if you're listening, you'll know I'm talking about you, but I just want to say thank you for this. She says, "Hi, Reese. I have a funny story that's going to have you laughing. Last night, my husband and I were talking to our future son-in-law. We all like to talk about politics, so I mentioned Betsy McCoy and how you interviewed her recently. I said that I don't know if you listen to WTIC, but I listen to this guy, Reese on the radio. Our future son-in-law, Chris, gets excited and points to me, and he goes, I listen to him too. He proceeds to say, he does this segment called Negro Nonsense, to which I replied, yeah, I like that. And I said, you know he's black, correct? I thought he was going to fall off the couch because he had no idea. Roland, you love that. That's one of our favorite things that you and I kind of laugh at. The people, I know, right? I remind people every day. Well, apparently Chris didn't know. And he said, I thought he was going to fall off the couch because he had no idea. Anyway, I thought I would share that with you because we got a kick out of the whole conversation. She says she works at third shift, so sometimes it's hard to listen. So hopefully, if she's not listening live, maybe she is listening live because she doesn't have to work. I hope that the snowstorm has allowed her to stay home. But I wanted to say that because of that, Catherine, you mentioning it and you guys having such a laugh about it, I kept saying to myself, okay, if people really like it, it's really hard not to bring it back. Roland, if you had to, I know it's not one of your favorite bits that I do, but I know a lot of people who like it. I happen to love it. What do you think, if you were to say? No?
If I were to say whether or not to bring it back?
Come on. In fact, it's actually kind of catchy.
Look at that. Now you didn't conjure yourself.
Apparently I have. Well, there's a reason why.
I never had an issue with it.
No, you like? Okay, good. The reason why is because apparently, you know there's a new Black Panther Party, right? We featured them here the other day.
Won't no ICE agent ever run up on me. I
Oh, yeah.
Put a hole in their chest the size of a window.
Out. They were on the streets holding weapons, talking about they are the new Black Panther Party. Well, a new video has emerged, and for some odd reason, they are pulling back. But we'll play that in a little bit. Oh, yeah, it's great. So when we come back, we'll tell you what it's all about when we return. Stand by. Mark Christopher, he's getting you home. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center.
Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. If you're heading into downtown Hartford right now, overall, we are doing pretty well. DOT reporting, though, 91 southbound is shut down between exit 47E and 46 because of a two-vehicle accident there. So you're going to have to get off the highway at 47E in Enfield as you come 91 south. If you are going beyond that, a good ride into downtown Hartford. Northbound 91's okay. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Both sides of 84 moving well. Farmington to Vernon. 291 through 84, okay east of the river. 2 eastbound moving well. Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. No issues in Waterbury. And 91 of the Parkway, smooth ride heading down in toward New Haven. This traffic report being brought to you by Columbia Implant Center in Manchester. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
A clearing sky tonight, breezy, frigid, low temperature 2 above, many icy spots out there, and bundle up in multiple layers. Make sure your pets are not outside for an extended period of time as well, and there could potentially be water main breaks with temperatures going down to 2 above. The AccuWeather real field temperature 5 below. Increasing clouds, a couple of flurries tomorrow afternoon with a high temperature of 21. Clear, bitterly cold, down to 4 below tomorrow night with a real feel of 8 below. Sunshine mixing with a few clouds on Wednesday, the high 21. A mix of sun and clouds on Thursday, the high 21. Mostly sunny, only 16 degrees on Friday. Right now out there, we have 21 degrees in Weatherfield. We have 23 in Plainville and 21 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Chad Merrill in the WTIC Weather Center.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com or at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080.
UConn's Silas Demery Jr. and Braylon Mullins know winning takes trust, hustle, and the right team.
I work both ends of the court. That's the only way to win.
And when the pressure's on, I trust my team on the court and in life.
That's why they trust BPS lawyers, handling personal injury, family law, and more.
I'm Nick Payne-Darris. At BPS Lawyers, we're one full-service firm. All your legal needs, always.
BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life.
Let's ring in the new year by finally checking off something that actually matters. Your old videotapes and photos are fading more every year. VCRs are disappearing, and the clock is ticking to save your family's most important memories. Hi, I'm Adam Maslauger.
And I'm Nick Mako. We started Legacy Box to help you preserve your memories by converting all your videotapes, photos, and film reels into digital files. And this year, it's easier than ever.
Introducing our biggest kit yet, able to hold up to 80 videotapes or film reels or 2,000 photos. It's perfect for big collections. You can even send in old DVDs, memory cards, flip phones, or early generation iPhones.
Legacy Box is truly the easiest New Year's resolution you'll ever keep. Just fill your box and send it in. As the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos, all work is done in the U.S., and we're trusted by over 1 million families.
Start the new year right by rescuing the moments you haven't watched in years. Go to legacybox.com/radio for an incredible 55% off. That's legacybox.com/radio for 55% off.
The NAACP calls him, whoa, I don't think I'm allowed to read this. It's Reese on the Radio. Let's just say some people are not fans. On News Talk 1080, WTIC.
Oh, anyway, I totally forgot that was playing in the background. Anyway, Dean is in the at ReeseOnTheRadio.com from the Eanes. Dean, here's what you need to do. If you are on ReeseOnTheRadio.com and you don't have any audio, to the left of where it says live, you can't see it. Just click with your mouse. Just put your little cursor on any one of the areas. Just click over there. The volume button is going to be to the left of where it says live. And you're just clicking on it and you'll get it. If you still have any problems, on ReeseOnTheRadio.com, scroll all the way to the top and go to YouTube. That'll send you directly to the page so you can get the volume. Okay? And I'm sorry that you had that problem. I've heard that before, but it is to the left of where it reads live. That'll get you the audio on the piece. So Peter Schweitzer, and I'm glad that Craig in the car is in the chat room with the Scallywags, because he asked me this 2 days ago. I meant to get back to him yesterday on it. But Peter Schweitzer has a new book. And Peter Schweitzer is one of these authors that always follows the money. And this is an interesting thing that I found out, according to Peter Schweitzer's reporting. And it is not just the NGOs that are using money to protect illegals in the state and all around the country. According to Peter Schweitzer, it is also Mexican consulates everywhere. There are other countries that have one. Of course, usually they sit in New York City. But Mexico has 50 across the country, which seems odd, wouldn't it? And according to Schweitzer's reporting, that it is designed to undermine our democracy, or at least the democratic vote. That's the whole idea. That they are actively working, according to Peter Schweitzer. And I thought that was crazy. So I started looking up. I was like, really? How many? There are 50, sure enough. And they're everywhere. I think there are none in Connecticut, but there are 2 that are sitting right on either side, north and south, of the state of Connecticut, Boston and New York. Now, do I think that they're in Connecticut? Not in that way. But it is clearly a threat. These NGOs and these sort of groups, they are a threat. Now, let me explain to you why, because I talked about this briefly, and I know it to be a fact. I talked to you about back in 2013 how there were public officials and elected officials in the state of Connecticut who for years said nothing about the deportation of illegals under the Obama administration. And then, wildly enough, in 2013, several politicians came forward to push back. They immediately started talking about the SAVE Act. Right? Was it the SAFE? No, the SAFE Act. They immediately started talking about legislation not to cooperate with the federal government because the Obama administration had access to courtroom data, fingerprint data. And when someone was going to be released and they were in the court system, ICE would show up and grab that individual. And why would a Democrat state like Connecticut push back against the Obama administration? I mean, the Messiah. Doesn't even make any sense. Right? How could it possibly make sense? Well, it's easy. It's because NGOs and activist groups in the state told them to. Now, why would that be important? Why would it? That they, again, defying President Obama, pushing back on his agenda to deport and acquiesce the NGOs? The answer is obvious. Money. That's all it is. Obama's definitely, his administration is going to funnel those places with money. And the NGOs have to have some place to give that money to. And if you don't support them, they don't support you. That's the reason why they push back. I'm sure Obama understood. I'm sure people turned around and said, hey, I can't get elected if I'm ticking off this group. And I can't get the blacks to vote. I only get a small modicum of them. But these folks, they're going to fundraise. They're going to donate to my campaign. They're going to donate to all the Democrats. I got to do something. It wasn't like the Obama administration couldn't push back on the government of Connecticut, but he didn't. He didn't even admonish them at all. Weird. I looked it up. I'm trying to figure out whether or not there was like a tug of war between the Obama administration and Connecticut. Nothing. Democrats are just actively saying, oh, I think it was wrong. I think it's horrible. Sure, did they criticize the Obama administration? Yeah, kind of. They kept it civil. There was none of the stuff we're seeing today. But as I tried to tell you before, the reason why we're seeing what we're seeing today is all about money. It's never about organic protest. It's never. These people couldn't tell you morally what they believe in ever. They are simply guided by their pocketbooks. They are. They can be angry about anything you want them to be. It's interchangeable. Tell these kids be angry about, I will pay you $100, $200, go out there and protest, scream, holler, call people fascists, collect your money at the end of the day. Folks, they're standing out in sub-degree temperatures in Minnesota. Sub-degree temperatures. For what? Does any of it make sense? No. Let's go to Stephen in Waterbury. How are you, Stephen?
Yo, boss man, let me see if I got this right. You are trying to tell me you're black?
Nobody knows.
I had you pegged for Chinese and Jewish, and you always talk about big.
Wait a minute, you had me what? You had me painted as Chinese or Jewish?
Both. Oh man!
What do you got for me, boss? I'm good, man. I'm good. How you weathering this storm?
I'm fine. I rolled in at 6:30 this morning after I did my driveway. They let me out an hour early, so
Look, I got to give it to all the guys who have been out all night. They were at my building. They were everywhere. I couldn't believe that there was actually, there was so much snow. I couldn't see any asphalt, but they did pave. And I'll admit, after a while, it becomes too much to bear because they are overwhelmingly snowed in everywhere.
Well, I used to plow around the clock for Naugatuck using my truck. It was like a subcontract years ago, but I could drive all day, 24 hours easily. But anyways, that being said, you were talking about Roseanne maybe doing a show.
I'm sorry, you were talking about Roseanne doing what?
You and Roseanne were talking about maybe her getting on the radio and doing a whole program sometime, right?
Doing another program?
Yeah, you about a week and a half ago.
Oh, yeah, talking about doing something off the. Well, somebody had mentioned it about doing something like sort of an uncensored version of the show.
Well, here's what I was kind of thinking. I don't know how easy it is to do, but to get her like feet wet. I know like this is one of my problems. She may not have this.
Okay.
But my memory is not always good like yours. Like I'll tell you something. You come up with 20 years back, and you're right on target. You know what I mean? Jim Gleiser was great for that too. Even with his lupus and stuff, it was amazing how he could handle that. But I was thinking maybe if you guys could do some kind of podcast, maybe on a Saturday or something, until she really gets acclimated or whatever, and then maybe kind of go solo at some point.
I think that, you know what, excuse me, I think that would be a great idea. In fact, Roseanne is talking about it. She's, to be honest with you, Stephen, she's got such a bug now in her bonnet about doing this now, and she never thought she would. She loves that, but I think it's a great idea for her. In fact, I'm trying really, really hard to usher her into doing her own show. I think women would really like that show because I think she has a lot of interesting stuff to talk about. I kind of want her to fly on her own because I think that you guys have proven to me that you like her. And she's interesting, and you know, you guys love to listen to her laugh and the stuff that she talks about. So I think I don't want to take anything from her. If anything, I want to give her the wings to fly.
Well, I was just kind of thinking like you could kind of be there like as a safety net.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would totally produce her show. Oh, without a doubt, I would totally produce her show.
There you go. There you go. Awesome.
Thank you, boss. I appreciate you. Let me get to my homegirl and conspiracy theorist in crime. How are you, Kim? How are you?
I'm doing fine, Reese. Thank you. I'm not a conspiracy.
I'm teasing.
Theorist.
You know I say that tongue in.
Point her out.
I'm teasing that because that's what that's always the comments they give to you and Simsbury Joe when you guys are right over the target. They never call you a liar. They call you a conspiracy theorist.
Right. So since I will remind people of facts, since 2009, I have been calling this station 4, maybe 3, I don't remember exactly, hosts of programs of this time slot, and telling them what they needed to know. And I didn't expect them to go and do the hard work that I did. The first book that pointed out all this stuff to me was The Shadow Party, how Hillary Clinton and George Soros were going to take down America. It's a shadow party. People can get it, and they can verify everything I've ever said. So anyway, a couple of things, and I'll get back to what I learned in there. But yesterday, listening to Jack Smith's testimony, I went through the whole...
Oh, did you go back and watch the whole thing?
I did. And it's amazing how many Democrats said, we need to give our thanks to these wonderful federal employees here, the Capitol Police. They were just doing their duty, right? But they don't have that same belief for the ICE people.
Interesting.
Who are and getting beat up at the same time.
Interesting.
Meanwhile, when I look back at January 6th, they were doing their duty was beating up women like Victoria White.
That's right.
Guys don't know about them. One guard was hitting Victoria White in the head with those batons.
Caught on
and
video.
Another one's right in back of her, beating the back of her head. So when she got hit, she went back and forth, and that was in the tunnel. There was at least 3 or 4 women either were killed or were badly beaten up. And their duty, I guess, involved setting off those flash bombs or whatever, got the crowd going and hitting people with rubber bullets. So that's their duty. But we were peaceful protesters who were attacked. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that was their duty. So now we have all the Somali fraud, all taxpayer money being taken there, all kinds of money taken there. And amazingly, there happens to be protests now where these people are showing up and causing problems. And the ICE people are still trying to do their duty, but their duty means, I guess, getting beat up by these fraudsters.
Right.
Okay. So anyway, that's what came out of the Jack Smith testimony.
Indeed.
And amazing how his memory was good when he wanted to tell you how bad Trump was and Trump people, but he couldn't remember anything like getting sworn in, when he got sworn in.
Was that wild? Was that wild? That was one of
Yeah.
for me, that was probably the most wildest exchange I've ever heard.
Yeah, and meanwhile he's doing his duty, which was he wasn't even authorized or voted in or authorized by the Senate. And he was doing all of whatever he wanted to do.
Sure.
So anyway, so some things, what you get out of the book, The Shadow Party, is words that mean something. And it's amazing how there's a cross in the testimony of Jack Smith about there's certain words you need to know, like human rights. Well, Soros was involved in setting up human rights type of thing. He pushed it through Jimmy Carter, who Jimmy Carter managed to push in all those extra bureaucracies that we didn't need, education, environmental, and all the rest of them. Okay. And by the way, Soros said, Jimmy Carter was my favorite president, which made me look back and see, because he did everything you wanted, the pre-communist state. So the words like integrity unit. Well, the public integrity unit was where Jack Smith started to get some work done. Okay.
Was that his earlier work in the integrity? Oh, I didn't know that.
He worked with Lois Lerner.
Oh, that's right.
Like take away Second Amendment rights via special tax treatment.
Damn.
And all the things. But one thing you're learning about that book is the fact, and it's the most boring part of it, is how much work George Soros got put through by people like not Lindsey Graham, but his cohort there, George McCain.
John McCain, yes,
okay.
yes.
He got things through there. There was like the 401cs and all those weird groups, all that special tax treatment. So you see in Somalia and you see in the Somali city of Minneapolis how we are funding. It's a perfect, and I've said this before, it's a perfect business plan, business plot. You have the taxpayers of the United States funding your revolution to take down America. And Minneapolis shows you that's how it's being done. This is why the big fight back is there, because and they give it back to the Democrat Party.
That's exactly right. If they're not giving it back in, sending it back to Mogadishu, that's like it's a complete. It's always been a slush fund, even since the days of the stimulus package of 2009. It's always a slush fund.
And two other words you need to know. Organic is George Soros' favorite word. I didn't get that out of the Shadow Party. I got to see all the things he was doing against Russia. Anybody who fights back wants to keep their national assets. There's a fight back.
Yeah.
He controls media and politicians. Lastly,
Kim,
if you don't know what Op-Poor is, you need to know what Op-Poor is, because this is exactly how you fracture America. Op-Poor is how they fractured other countries.
Thank you, Kim. I got to take a break. Mark Christopher, he's at the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Reese, thank you very much. And if you are traveling right now, 91 southbound in Enfield is shut down at 47E because of an accident between exit 47E and 46 on the southbound side of I-91. So once again, 91 southbound closed in Enfield at exit 47E. Now, once you get into Windsor Locks, you got a good ride, 91 South Windsor Locks down into Cromwell. Same story, northbound 91, no issues. Cromwell up into Windsor. Both sides of 84 okay. Farmington out into Vernon. 291, 384 looking good. 2 eastbound's in good shape. Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. Waterbury's okay, 84 and 8. And a good ride toward New Haven on 91 and the Parkway. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Weather is sure not on our side going forward following the storm cleanup, as dangerous conditions with the temperature dropping down to a low of 2 above tonight with a clear sky and rather breezy. AccuWeather real feel of 5 below, so snow-covered roads and many icy spots expected. Increasing clouds, a few flurries tomorrow afternoon with a high of 21. The real feel temperature 12. Tomorrow night, clear down to 4 below with a real feel of 8 below zero, so dress in multiple layers to stay warm. Also, there could be pipe burst in that type of weather. Increasing amounts of sunshine on Wednesday, the high 21. A mix of sun and clouds Thursday up to 21. Mostly sunny Friday, the high 16. Mostly cloudy on Saturday, the high 21. This is meteorologist Chad Merrill in the WTIC Weather Center.
This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
5 o'clock, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. We have cloudy skies. A couple of snow flurries just moved through. Temperatures 21 degrees, and Connecticut spent the day cleaning up from a blast of winter that left a foot to a foot and a half of snow in just about every port of the state. Local and state road crews continuing their operations well into the day. Most of the highways are fairly decent, all things considered. Some of the local and secondary roads and side streets, though, could be a whole other story with still some snow cover in some areas. Also, large mounds of snow on the corners at intersections for drivers to be mindful of as they navigate that. Hartford Mayor Aruna Naralampulam says city plow crews have been going at it nonstop.
It takes all of us to be able to get through a storm like this, a storm of this magnitude. And the city of Hartford has done a great job, but obviously none more than our DPW. And we're here with our DPW director, Chris Hayes. Every single employee was called in. Every single employee was out clearing roads, clearing sidewalks.
Hartford among a number of communities that have already called off school for Tuesday. We're not the only ones digging out from tons of snow. This man in Montville, New Jersey, among those cleaning up.
I was expecting anywhere from 15 to 24 inches. That's right around what we got on our picnic table in the back, which is like a nice level surface. It looks like about a foot and a half. So, right around there, what I was expecting.
Now, one thing homeowners shouldn't ignore, vents and air intakes around the home should be clear of snow and other obstructions. Chris Herb is the president and CEO of SEMA, the Connecticut Energy Marketers Association.
If you have side vents on the side of your house where your exhaust system vents out to, you need to make sure that those snow drifts do not cover them up, because it could create a dangerous situation for your family from a health perspective.
On to the news, more Republican lawmakers are now speaking out about the situation in Minnesota in light of another fatal shooting by ICE.
On his podcast, Senator Ted Cruz criticized local leaders, but he also warned the administration.
Escalating the rhetoric doesn't help.
He said they should take a more measured tone.
The politicians who are pouring gasoline onto this fire, they need to stop.
Meanwhile, Senator Rand Paul is urging ICE and other Homeland Security officials to testify before Congress, pressing for transparency on the aggressive tactics and use of force in the state. Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
And lawmakers in D.C. and Hartford are considering what can be done to contain ICE following this latest incident. WTIC's Dave Mager has that.
Democratic Congressman John Larson is calling for more than just the removal of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem.
We need to replace ICE with a humane enforcement system that's put together where there is congressional oversight.
And Democratic State Rep Rebecca Martinez says more can be done to counter ICE at the state level.
Any way that we can expand protections and ensure that our citizens are safe, our communities are safe.
Martinez and Larson are hearing from constituents worried about more American citizens getting hurt by expanded violent enforcement in Connecticut. Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News.
Dow up 313 points today. The Nasdaq gained 100 and the S&P was up 34. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Northeast Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you. It can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Northeast Men's Health will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
What? Am I still doing this? I thought I really want it back. I'm sorry. We'll do Negro nonsense in a second. I keep forgetting to take the element off. I did want to talk about this while we have time, because we were having a discussion over the weekend about the impending snowstorm that we now are in the middle of, and I had it here, and I put it somewhere, and now I have to find it. So if you're listening to the ruffling of my paperwork here, that's the reason why you're hearing it. And the reason why I wanted to get to the bottom of it, I'm hoping maybe it's over here. Is this? Yes, I have it. Okay. So this was driving me nuts. So people were having a debate online about, isn't the snowstorm called Fern? And I was like, no, I don't think so. Larry was a person who was constantly saying, no, it's called Fern. I was like, no, I heard it was called Benjamin. So he and I are going back and forth, and then he's like, no, he said, my bad. I thought it was called Fern. I heard it was called Fern. Well, Larry was just as right as I was. He wasn't wrong, and he shouldn't have had to apologize. But the confusion is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. There is no superstorm naming or snow or if it's not a hurricane, there should not be a name. But apparently, this has become a thing. And I looked this up. The logic behind naming winter storms in a style similar to hurricane, assigning them personal names like Athena, Blizzard, or Fern, stems primarily from a private initiative by the Weather Channel, which began the practice in 2012-2013. No official meteorological agency like the National Weather Service, NWS, in the U.S., or the NOAA has ever adopted or endorsed naming winter storms this way. It has never been done officially like hurricanes. So when people are doing this, they are actually being, again, indoctrinated into calling them these stupid names. Why? Here's why. The Weather Channel believes that this improves communication and public awareness. Now you have to be aware of a hurricane or a winter storm, I should say. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Snow is coming, and lots of it will suffice. As you can see outside, no one is going to remember if it was Benjamin or Fern. No one is. No one's going to care. It's the dumbest thing in the world. Can you imagine if Mark Christopher in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center came up with a name for a traffic event? Like perhaps a 10-car pileup. What would you refer to that? 10-car pileup. Fern is on I-84. Was that what you call it, Mark?
The eve of destruction.
The rest of us would just call it traffic.
Yeah.
You wouldn't call it a name. Can you believe this? This isn't even a real thing. And thank God for John Silva, because he was the one who set me up. He was like, listen, this is a stupid thing that people do. It's like it's not real. And I looked it up, and I was like, sure enough, he's right. It's all made up. There is no Fern. There is no Benjamin. There is no winter weather naming.
No,
it's all
fake. Yeah, there's one station in the market that does that. But yeah.
It turns out that they started it and the Weather Channel glommed on.
Right. I think they started it back when Hilton Catterley was here. Maybe John would remember.
Okay.
But Hilton Catterley, his big line, well, we're going to have a real gullywumper coming through. That was his big thing. We're going to have a big old gullywumper coming through. So
and then they decided to start calling them names. It was Gullywumper, the first storm they named?
I don't know, but that's what when you knew when Hilton Catterley said it was a Gullywumper, you knew you better.
It was going to be bad.
Yeah, it's going to brace for a big storm. So maybe John will remember where that originated from.
I'll find out.
But yeah, probably, yeah. Well, the same station's still doing it in the market.
Yeah,
so
that's okay.
There you go.
Well, Mark is going to tell you about Traffic Jam Isaac. That's happening.
Traffic Jam Isaac, here you go. At 5:09. Traffic Jam Isaac is right now, and we have a road closure up there. That is 91 southbound. That is shut down at exit 47E because of a serious accident between 47E and 46 on the southbound side of I-91. So you'll have to take Route 5 south to get around that, to get back on the 91. Both sides of 91 moving well between Cromwell and Windsor Locks. Both sides of 84 okay. Farmington and Vernon. 291 through 84 looking good. 2 westbounds in good shape. Glastonbury and East Hartford. Quiet Middletown. Waterbury's a good ride. 84 and 8. No issues heading down toward New Haven on 91 in the Parkway. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
A little bit breezy this evening, but clearing out, frigid overnight with a low temperature of 3 above. Tomorrow, the high temperature 21, a couple of flurries in the afternoon. We clear it out again tomorrow night, the low temperature 4 below 0, very cold temperatures. And Wednesday, the high 24 with a mix of sun and clouds, down to 1 degree below 0 Wednesday night. And Thursday, very cold. We'll have a high of 21 with a mix of sun and clouds. Thursday night going down to 6 degrees below 0. That'll break the record of 3 below. And on Friday, mostly sunny, the high temperature only 18. Most of the area got anywhere between 10 and 20 inches of snow. That's going to stay on the ground for the rest of the week with these cold temperatures. And speaking of temperatures, right now it's 21 in Manchester, 22 in Cheshire, and 21 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Chad Merrill in the WTIC Weather Center.
We know that you want the best for your child. That's why you can trust our expert pediatric dentists here at Columbia Dental, who are trained to meet and handle your child's unique dental needs. Call Columbia Dental at 860-645-0111.
Brian Shackman here for QC Kinetics. Listen, I have a number for you, 40,000. Let that number sink in for a second, 40,000. That's basically a small city, and it's also the number of people choosing pain relief without surgery through QC Kinetics. It's an unbelievable number of lives that have been transformed by QC Kinetics. It's patients who thought they were out of options and surgery was the only answer, now are moving better, hurting less, and getting their lives back together thanks to QC Kinetics. And here's the kicker. Your first consultation with them is totally free. You go in there and you find out if it's right for you. They're in Avon, New Haven, and Glastonbury, so the chances are it's close to you as well. You have 0 to lose. It's about long-lasting pain relief without surgery, without drugs, and without downtime. And the sooner you get started, the better it is for your long-term health. Give them a call. And again, it's a new number here, 860-850-2682. Again, it's 860-850-2682 for QC Kinetics. Make your appointment for that first consultation, which is totally free. 860-850-2682. Call QC Kinetics today.
Paid for by government. The 1986 to 2021 United States Silver Eagle, the first ever U.S. silver dollar minted in 99.9% pure silver and is the best-selling coin in the world. These original and historic silver dollars have ceased production forever. They will never be minted again. For a limited time only, full pound bags of original U.S. government-struck silver dollars are being released to the public. You can own a full pound of original U.S. silver dollar coins featuring Lady Liberty and the heraldic eagle, never to be struck again. Guaranteed. Call now to secure original United States Silver Eagles by the pound. The first U.S. silver dollars ever to be struck in 99.9% pure silver. Plus, receive a free bonus, an American Collector's Pack valued at over $40 and free shipping with every order. Call 1-800-560-6468 now to secure your full pound bag of United States Silver Eagle coins before they are gone. That's 1-800-560-6468.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Now, speaking of this winter weather, I will admit I looked out today. I've been in my apartment for 48 hours. I went outside for nothing. Nada. Did not go to the store. As soon as it started snowing, I sat, looked out my window, said, yep, looks pretty bad out there, and I went nowhere. The first I saw of the snow was this morning, roughly about 10:30. When I tried driving into the station. And I get here, and it is everywhere. It's just white. And I keep saying to myself, damn, I got to come down a hill. I know that I'm a front-wheel drive. I'm going to slip a little bit. Sure enough, I did. Slipped a little bit. Nothing bad, but, you get a little indicator on your car. If you got anything that's remotely like 2018 or newer.
You got to go around that hill.
Yeah,
when in inclement weather,
I know.
You got to go around that
I know.
hill.
There's another way that you can go. Yeah. That I'm probably going to go when I go home. But doing all of that as I'm coming in, I'm saying to myself, thinking about it. And I looked at my fridge because Roseanne called me and she says, "Do you have enough food?" And I went, "Yeah." But I wasn't confident when I said it. It was sort of like, I guess. And I do. There's food in there. There's good food in there. There's no comfort food in the house. Like I don't have my almonds, I don't have my chips. There's no chocolate that I can touch in the house because it's all hers. So I really don't. And I'm running out of fruit. I usually have apples and oranges in the house, and I'm running a little low on those. So I haven't really shopped, as it were. And I started to think, I'm like, what's going to happen when I go to the store? Before the show started, I stopped at the Dunkin' Donuts. And because of the snowstorm, do you know they had no donuts and no bagels? Nothing fresh. They were plumb out. I was like, wow. So I bought something that was in their frozen thing, and that was it. So I kept saying to myself, maybe I should get to the supermarket. But then I thought, why? Why bother? Everywhere you look, there are people out there who took everything. They took the bread. They took the milk. They took the chips. They took everything. Oh, and they took the toilet paper. Paper towels, too. And I got to tell you, I don't know who you are or where you come from, but you know who you are. If you're that person, I got to tell you, no one likes you. No one likes you. You ever ask yourself why you're never invited to parties? Because they know you're that guy. It's a snowstorm, okay? I know that you're always led to believe that it's the coming Armageddon. You guys have got, what would you do if a meteor was hurling to Earth? Would you guys run and get toilet paper? In the event that you poop yourselves? That it sounds ridiculous, but you gotta stop with that. There were lines outside the grocery stores. Lines. Outside the grocery store. People waiting in line to get essentials. Do you not shop regularly? And how long do you think you're going to be snowed in? Now, for me, when I see this, it's like, there are two things that run through my mind when I see this. Your faith in humanity is zilch, or your faith in government is greater, or least. And that's what I think it is. I think that you grab all of those goodies to go into your house because you believe that your government is so inept, they're going to leave you there. And you just need that toilet paper and those Doritos and all the milk and all the bread just in case. Just in case you don't make it out alive. It's never going to happen. You are never going to starve to death in a snowstorm, at least not around here. You're going to be fine. Will you people please stop doing it? Just stop. You should have bread in your house, by the way. Who are these people who don't buy bread when they go? How often do you go grocery shopping, Roland?
Every week.
Okay, so you go once a week.
Once a week, yeah. Most of the time once a week. Sometimes every week and a half.
Do you know that was a foreign thing to me, going grocery shopping once a week? Because I'm a kid from welfare. We went once a month. We had to buy all of our groceries at the beginning of the month, and they had to last us. When I found out that people go to the grocery store once a week, I thought that was the most weird thing I ever heard. I was like, really? But now it makes more sense and no sense at the same time. If you do go, if regular people go to the grocery store once a week, how is it that they don't have bread and milk?
Because that would be that probably caught in between that stuff is ending and they trying to make sure they got enough for the weekend.
Oh, so you think that, do people really believe that they're going to be snowed in for a week?
I could tell you this. I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago, we had a real bad storm, but the problem was they were coming like every 3 days. So it dropped a foot, then 3 days later it dropped another foot. Then 3 days later, it dropped 6 inches. Then 3 days later, it was like 4 or 5 back to back.
Right.
And I think people are still,
reeling,
traumatized from that because it was quite a few people that died because the ambulance couldn't get to the house.
Now, I've seen that. That New York was like that a couple of years ago with de Blasio, but
it wasn't from starvation.
No. It was a crazy story in New York City. Many people might remember this. And the ambulance couldn't get to a person who was in trouble because there was a strike that happened at the same time as the snowstorm, and the sanitation department, which does the plowing in certain jurisdictions, did not plow the street, and the ambulance couldn't get to the home.
Yeah.
And because they couldn't get there, that patient died.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I totally get that. But come on.
I don't at first I thought it was, not scammers, bootleggers. Go and buy a bunch of stuff.
So did I.
And then so they could sell it, in a hood or whatever for a low and make some money off of a supply and demand type situation. But then I was like, nah, it can't be that. It's just every time there's a storm, we go to the store and everything is wiped.
You're never going to get through 6 gallons of milk in enough time that 1 gallon is not going to, or maybe even 2 won't be spoiled.
Yeah, you can get 2.
Maybe 2, but you can't be buying 6 gallons. There are people out there buying 6 gallons.
I know.
It's insanity. I'm like, how many people do you have in your house? Are you feeding an army?
Maybe they're freezing them. I don't know. But they do. Sometimes we order Walmart online, and you just gotta go pick.
You gotta drive by and pick it up.
Yeah, drive by.
But if you could get to Walmart,
they was all sold out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they kept pushing it back 2 hours. Oh, give us another 2 hours, it'd be ready. Give us another till the next day. So we just said forget it.
We did an Instacart once that we waited 7 hours for.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
I couldn't understand it. I was like, what is going on? I'm saying to Roseanne, I'm like, that food isn't here yet. And she was like, nope. I'm like, what is going on?
Yep.
I'm like, yep. And it finally came. Like, she ordered roughly about 1 o'clock. I think we got our food at about 8, 9 o'clock.
Because we do that for Sam's. We
Do you?
We order because it's so easy. You just go on the app.
You're a Sam's Club guy?
Yeah. I personally like to go in.
Okay, but that being said, have you ever been to Costco's or BJ's?
Yeah, I've been to all of them.
Okay, so you've been to all of them,
yeah.
And I'm assuming you still chose Sam's because it's better.
I wouldn't say I don't think I chose it because it was better. I think I chose it because they had a couple things there that I liked that BJ's and Costco's they didn't have. I think that was the difference.
Okay, because I've never been a Sam's Club guy. I've done Costco and I've done BJ's. I cannot tell you which one is better. I know Costco. Only reason why I know Costco's is more popular, but BJ's I've known since I was a kid.
Yeah, and I might go to BJ's just because it's closer.
Yeah,
but I have to check their.
Do you have a membership at all three?
No.
Oh, okay.
I just have one at Sam's.
At Sam's, I would love to go to Sam's. I'm trying to figure out which one is better.
I like Sam's.
You do? Okay, yeah. I'm gonna go.
But where are you at? You in Farmington?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Costco's closer.
Yeah, Costco's. Where's the nearest Costco's?
I want to say.
Because I know the one in Manchester, but I'm not sure.
No, we didn't go there. I know we didn't go to that
there's
one.
a Sam's out there too.
Yeah, you know what it is? I've never really been in a Sam's before. I've only gone into I think I had a customer who picked up some furniture from Sam's, but I've never really shopped there. So I honestly want to go and sort of window shop and see if it's any different from the others. Roseanne does Costco. I was a BJ's guy. I had BJ's for years.
Okay, yeah.
So Sam's is the only one I don't know. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Somebody's got to tell me.
Just at least check it out one time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
that's exactly what I want to do. I want to check it out to see whether or not it's actually worth checking out at all. What's name says box milk is stable for a year. Box milk at Dollar Tree. Box milk? What the heck is box milk? Is it like evaporated milk or is that powdered milk? Oh, you know what? Thank you. Another Mike from Bristol says Costco is near the West Farms Mall. That's the one I went to recently. That was the one I went to. Yeah, I'm actually going to I'm going to go. Aldi, I'm not feeling Aldi in the sense of, excuse me, I don't understand how the Aldi's operates. Nothing against it. It is very inexpensive,
and I will go there. Like, I go there. In fact, it's very close to my apartment. So I will go there because it's convenient, and it's not like I have anything against them. They got some name brand stuff.
I do not like the meats from Aldi's.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So
Roseanne's not a fan of theirs either.
I won't get any meats from there.
Okay.
But, I get like chips and like, different snacks and even like the fruit. Sometimes you got to really check it because it's not, the produce is not the high quality.
Picket of litter.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you get a good bunch of stuff, but you have to really look through it.
Yeah, I'm gonna I will honestly tell you that I will. Yeah, I'm a little particular when it comes to because I love grapes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm particular when I go to where I go to get those.
Exactly.
Roseanne's very particular about where she gets her meats from. That's a big deal to her. She will go through. I mean, it's exhaustive, but she will go through it.
Even I get meat from Walmart sometimes, but even there, meat ain't the
not up to par.
It ain't the greatest.
Right.
A lot of times we'll go to the meat market, to be honest.
Where do I get? Okay, so KB says it's just milk. It's box milk. Where do I
it's
get
powder, right?
No, he's saying it's actual milk. I don't know if that's a guy or a girl. I apologize if I'm misgendering you. It says, it's at the Dollar Tree. I don't know if I'm allowed to go there. Roseanne gets on my case about what.
What? We have a Dollar General.
Do we?
Right by my house.
Yeah.
And because of where it's located, because everything I'm like kind of off the highway deep into the thick of the thick. Yeah. So they have everything you need there where they wouldn't have at a normal Dollar General.
Uh-huh.
So it's like a Walmart. It's like going into the Walmart and they got everything in there.
I will say that there is a Dollar Tree is where I'll go, but the reason why I say that I'm not really allowed to go there is because every time I go, I pick up a pair of $2 sunglasses.
Just to say it's not $1.
It's $2 because it's I love aviator sunglasses.
Yep.
And so they always have them there, so I always pick up them. In my car right now, there are about 6 pairs.
Do you wear them all?
Wear them all the time.
Oh, okay.
I wear them all the time. And I have them everywhere so I can always find a pair. So they show up because we'll be out and there'll be a lot of sun and there'll be one inside the dash, inside the glove compartment, inside the above compartment. I've got 2 in the above compartment sitting there right now. And she goes, "What do you need to stop buying those cheap glasses?" I'm like, "They're always there. They're always there."
Yeah, you don't have to worry about taking care of. Like my glasses, I got the Prime. The Prime shades, and they were $90.
Damn.
And now I make sure I keep them in a little soft case. I clean them off because I spent $90 on them, so I'm not gonna.
Listen to me. Save yourself the trouble. Go down to the dollar store and get yourself
get a $2 pair of glasses.
$1.48.
Do they work the same or?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Does the quality of blocking the sun the same?
Well, you may get a UV ray now and again, but they look stylish. I'm just
okay.
I give it to a $1.48 sunglasses, the aviator glasses.
My prescriptions are aviator glasses.
There you go. So there you go.
Yeah,
That's absolutely right. Let's get a check of weather and traffic. It's a little dim out there, so you don't need any $1.48 sunglasses. Mark Christopher is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Okay, now for some reason I can't find this on Messenger right now, but one of our listeners, he texted me on Facebook Messenger, and I appreciate the text, and I don't know why I can't find it now. But anyways, he said the origin of naming storms goes back to the Travelers Weather Service. Now,
really?
From Travelers Weather Service was owned by Travelers, of course, WTIC AM and FM.
Right.
Channel 3, all, and then the radio stations were sold and the TV stations were sold from Travelers in 1974, but the Travelers Weather Service continued on. But anyways, that started, I believe, in the winter of 1971-72, and Channel 3 just kept it going.
Okay.
So naming storms started here in Hartford at Travelers Weather, and I believe the Weather Channel picked up on it. And I can't find the guy who just texted me this.
Okay, well, if you find it, send it to me because I want to know the history of that too.
Yeah, but it actually started at the Travelers Weather Service, and I believe it was the winter of 71-72. And when there was a major storm, they would name it to kind of tip people off that, yeah, this is going to be a 6+ inch storm. It's a major storm. So that's why they did it. And Channel 3 has kept that tradition since the early 70s. So
okay.
That's the story behind it.
That makes sense.
I wish I could find this guy. Why can't I find his name? He just messaged me a few minutes ago. Hey, we are dealing with a problem right now. 91 southbound in Enfield. That is shut down at exit 47E because of an accident between 47E and 46. 2-vehicle crash there. Highway shut down. You'll have to take Route 5 south to get around that. Both sides of 91 moving well. Cromwell up into Windsor Locks. East and westbound 84 okay. Farmington to Vernon. 291 384. That looks good. Eastbound, you'll see some reduced speeds as you move Glastonbury into Marlborough on both sides of Route 2. Quiet Middletown. Waterbury looks good. 91 in the Parkway okay toward New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather. And now, a WTIC news update.
I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. A senior Border Patrol commander and some agents are expected to leave Minneapolis as early as Tuesday. That from multiple news outlets, including CBS. The departure of Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino, who's been at the center of the Trump administration's immigration enforcement surge in cities nationwide, comes as the president dispatched Border Czar Tom Homan to Minnesota to take charge of immigration and customs enforcement operations. Temperatures aren't expected to climb much past 20 degrees over the next week plus, so Governor Lamont has extended the severe cold weather protocol again. The protocol will now be in effect until Thursday, February 5th at noon. Single-digit and below zero temperatures are expected at night. Those who need info on warming shelters and other services are urged to dial United Way 211. Big dig out continues from the big storm. Most areas of the state received at least a foot of snow and much more in other areas. Hartford's already decided to keep the kids home from school for another day. As far as getting around, doable, but you need to take it slow, particularly on the local streets. A lot of big snow piles with which to navigate. Cities and town crews working on those secondary roads and side streets that still have a snowpack. The situation at the airport, well, they're playing catch-up at Bradley. They had a backlog of canceled flights. About 38% were canceled as a result of the weather. At Tweed, they were closed yesterday, reopened earlier today. The first flight out of there was a little after noon to Concord, North Carolina. At least 18 weather-related deaths have been reported. As the work week began, the heaviest of that snow fell from New York north into New England. That's after heavy ice snapped branches and power lines down south and leaving hundreds of thousands of homes and businesses without electricity. The Dow gained 313 points today. The NASDAQ was up 100 and the S&P up 34 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well,
I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
Couple of comments coming into the chat room because apparently this big box store is a big deal to a lot of people. Another Mike from Bristol says that Sam's is like Costco but owned by Walmart. I did know that. I don't know why I forgot about that. That's an interesting point. He says, at least the last time I was at Sam's, which was a long time ago before I got my Costco membership. So apparently he made a choice. Costco was his. KB says that the milk is not crap. It's a good staple to have in the pantry. I'm not. If I gave the impression I'm dismissing box milk, I've just never heard of it before, and when you say box milk, are you talking about like the milk in a carton? Because I know what a carton of milk is, but if you're talking about box milk, like the what's it like, the chicken broth box? You know that, like the tall box that the chicken broth always comes in. If you're talking about that, I've never seen that before, and it seems weird. It just does. What was the other thing? Lori says that there's a meme of a guy, Lori Maz, by the way. Lori Maz says there's a meme of a guy panicking about going to the grocery store, getting the bread and the milk. Yeah, he's been doing that at least that video is years old. He's the Giants guy, screaming and hollering about everything. I don't understand why people panic and buy that stuff. I don't even want to be in the store with them. And if they don't have a self-checkout, I don't even want to be in the store. I used to abhor the self-checkout aisle. Now I love it. I adore it because I don't have to deal with anybody. I just go in, ring my stuff up, and get out of here. Oh, okay. So KB says that it's just like that box. Okay, it's like a box of the broth, but it's milk. Okay, all right. If you swear by it, I'm not going to not in any way going to criticize something that you swear by. I've never had it, so I have no criticism to really give. So I appreciate it. And next time I get into the store and I see it, I may pick it up. I'm not a milk guy though. I have to tell this horrible thing. So I used to love milk. I used to drink milk all the time. And then I turned 35, and I have no idea what happened, but apparently 35-year-old black males become lactose intolerant at the age of 35. I did not know it, but it happened to me. I used to drink milk. I used to drink a quart of milk with a triple-decker peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And then one day, it was over. It has never been the same. So I haven't had milk, and now, 21 years I haven't had milk. I've had ice cream, though. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. You can't have ice cream. I remember you saying that. You eat it anyway, but you're not supposed to.
I'm not supposed to have it because I'm diabetic. Oh, all the time. Are you kidding?
You said because you're diabetic.
Yeah, type 2 diabetic, so I'm not supposed to have sugar, but.
Oh, how do you can't deny it, man. You can't.
You know what?
I can't.
Take years off my life. I'm going to enjoy my life while I'm here.
I hear you.
It is what it is.
I hear that.
It is. I'm enjoying my life.
Yeah.
I still can't find that guy's name. I don't know where it just disappeared. Like when you text somebody back or message somebody, it's right there. I cannot find it. So
I'm glad that he actually shared it with us, but maybe he could share it with me.
Yeah, I'll try my best to find.
Okay.
Find this.
Thank you,
I don't
sir.
know why I can't. My phone does things that I can't control. It just does whatever it wants. So whatever. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound side of I-91 in Enfield, that is shut down at 47E because of an accident between 47E and 46. You'll have to take Route 5 to get around that in Enfield to get around that issue. Both sides of 91, Cromwell up into Windsor Locks, no issues. Both sides of 84, moving well, Farmington out into Vernon. But I noticed east of the river, especially both sides of 84 and both sides of 384 are running slower than the speed limit. So that tells me there could be some snow coming down there. Also seeing that now, Marlboro, Colchester, and Glastonbury on Route 2 east and westbound, so look out for that. Quiet Middletown, Waterbury's okay, 84 and 891 of the Parkway, a good ride toward New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Yeah, and speaking of that snow, we do have that light snow that's moving across the region right now. Another 3 hours of it, so a coating of accumulation that could slow travel all the way through about 8 or 9 o'clock. And then finally that snow exits off towards the east. Breezy, mostly clear, the low temperature 3 above overnight, very cold. Tomorrow afternoon we deal with a couple of flurries in the afternoon with a high temperature of 21. Bitterly cold tomorrow night with a low temperature of 4 below zero. Sunshine mixing with a few clouds on Wednesday, the high temperature 24. Down to 1 below on Wednesday night. Thursday's high only 21. And then once we get into Friday, even colder with a high of 18 degrees. Friday night going down to 4 degrees below zero. So an extended period of dangerous cold will continue across the region. But at least we have some drier weather in store. Right now it is 21 in Waterbury, 23 in Southington, and 22 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Chad Merrill in the WTIC Weather Center.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com or at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/Mike.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I'm opening a second location for my coffee shop this year?
I smell trouble brewing.
I needed to print new menus, loyalty cards, window signage, so I went to Staples.
That'll cost you a latte. Get it?
Uh-huh. Actually, I saved $100 on my print order, and everything looks amazing.
Well, grind my beans and call me impressed.
Staples made it easy.
If your business needs to print, let's go Staples.
That was easy.
Offer valid in-store and online. Ends 1/31. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
You know, this is one of those topics that no one really wants to think about, but if you're a parent, a homeowner, married, or helping take care of aging parents, it's something that honestly deserves a little attention. I'm talking about estate planning. And before you tune out thinking it's complicated or expensive, that's actually why I want to mention Trust and Will. Trust and Will makes estate planning feel way less intimidating than it sounds. They offer modern, attorney-designed wills and trusts that you can create online. And the process is surprisingly straightforward. In fact, you can create a will in as little as 30 minutes. That includes things like guardianship for your kids or pets, how your assets are distributed, and even healthcare directives. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your loved ones with Trust and Will, the most trusted name in online estate planning. Go to trustandwill.com/plan to get 20% off. That's trustandwill.com/plan for 20% off. trustandwill.com/PLAN.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we're about to get up out of here with, we're just going to have to save Negro nonsense for later on in the week. Maybe we'll bring it back. Big John says, check the ingredients for preservatives, how milk not to be refrigerated and not expire. Okay, I'll check into that. I can't have it. I can't drink it anyway, so it'll just sit there. Craig in the car says, I have a 10-pound bag of flour, yeast, a case of tomato sauce, a 5-pound bag of frozen cheese, and a gallon of olive oil. He goes, if anything gets worse, I will make pizza for a month. I'm not making anything. I don't know about you. Maybe you guys who will sit in the kitchen and you guys will cook and bake and all that other stuff because you have the time. I'm baking nothing. I'm a ready-to-eat, shelter-in-place kind of guy. I don't want to be cooking and making things, trying to make it adventurous. Oh, look at me. I'm going to make a quiche. It's not going to happen. My wife can do that. She will take. I can cure my boredom easy. Easy. I don't need. It's why I don't have a hobby. I can cure boredom lickety-split. So that's all. That's all I'm saying. I don't need to do all of that. By the way, if you are not on X, formerly Twitter, go, just get on there. If you're not following Reese on the Radio, please follow the show. What do we have? We don't have a lot of followers. We have a considerable amount. I mean, it's okay for this program, or at least for me. What are we up to? 1,297 followers. If you're not following Reese on the Radio there, follow me on Facebook. That's always good. And you can go to reeseontheradio.com to go to any one of the social media platforms so you can follow the show. This is important because I do a lot of content, and now that Roseanne isn't home, I've got more time to do it. See? When she's home, that I have to give her all of my time and sort of dedicate my life to making sure that she's not bored because I am Roseanne's hobby. That's how that works. I don't need a hobby. I am Roseanne's hobby. Let's go here. Let's drive there. Let's go to this place. Let's go to that place. That's Roseanne for you. So I am missing the hell out of her. I will tell you that. I'm missing her like crazy. And not having her here almost feels like not having a limb. And I think we're going to actually buy a second car, Roland. We're going to buy a Sebring. It's 20 years old, but it's a convertible. And it's in really good condition. I mean, a really, really good. It's only got 86,000 miles on her. That's not bad. And I don't know who's going to drive what. So I think Roseanne is probably going to drive the Sebring because it's got a convertible. Probably. That's probably what she's going to drive. So I'll just drive the SUV. Whatever, I don't care. I'm not really much of a convertible kind of guy. Unless, of course, it's a Mustang or a Lincoln Continental hard top, drop top. That's actually, it's good. Like the one the one that Kennedy was in. Yes, the one he was shot in. Yes, but it's a convertible Lincoln. I'm crazy about that car. Crazy about that car. Let me go to Frank. He's on hold. How we doing, sir?
Good. What can't you drink? Milk?
Yeah, I can't drink milk anymore. I'm lactose intolerant. It happens to, for some odd reason, when you're black and 35, you can't drink it anymore.
Oh, I never drank that white garbage anyway. I had 2 glasses, and I told my mother I'm not going to drink this anymore. So she solved the problem. Hooch chocolate milk. That's I drink it by the gallons.
Of course.
Ever since then, I've had a problem with the color white. I mean, let's be honest. It's depressing living in this state right now. I mean, I don't know
why, because it's covered in white.
Oh man! I mean, I don't know what's whiter. That snow that came down last night, or the women. Where is the queen?
Oh, will you stop it? You're kidding me. Anyway, what did you listen?
In the old days. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say you are in Woodbridge, okay?
Oh,
what? How bad did you guys get hit?
I don't know, a foot or more. But this town is 99.87% white.
Yeah, I know. How much snow did you get? What'd you get? You get a foot and a half?
Yeah, we got over a foot. I don't shovel it anymore. I have people doing that.
Of course you did. Who did you pay to shovel the snow? Did you get some kids who came by and said, "Hey, Frank,
they did.
Of course they did.
I gave them a few bucks because I'm not going out. I'm not a fool.
How much are you going to pay? How much did you pay a kid to shovel outside?
I gave $25 each.
Really?
They went out there. Yeah, they went out there. I told them do a good job.
I'm not going to call you cheap, but I would have gone $50 apiece.
Well, they weren't out there that long. They didn't have to do the driveway. All they had to do was the walk.
Oh, just the walk?
Yeah, and then in the front and back, and clear out the mailbox. The mailman could get in there.
Oh.
You're talking about places to go shopping.
Yeah.
Today we have a lot of choices.
We have a lot.
Right, but in the old days you didn't have choices, and this is what Leroy's upset about.
apparently you were the only choice. You were fleecing. You were fleecing the kid, the brothers out of groceries.
No. They were breaking my Stone Spring. What happened to the other stores? Well, they had bad luck. What do you mean bad luck? Well, they couldn't get supplies, and one had a fire. I mean, that's the way it goes back then. They couldn't get it. Leroy's upset. But to be honest, they really didn't pay. They might have paid 25 cents more on each item.
Yeah, that's probably true. But the interesting part is the fact that you said the other places, for some odd reason, they fell into some bad luck. Yes, I can imagine.
Let me tell you this before I go. You said that when they look at ICE, they look at Trump.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, many years ago, my father said, Frank, come with me. We got to go somewhere. I didn't know where we were going.
Mm-hmm.
It was a church. We walked in there. We were the first two people in there. 5 minutes later, some black people come in. 10 minutes later, the place was packed, Reese. Standing room only. I mean, there were so many black people there. It was unbelievable. There were more black people there than a Tarzan movie, to be honest.
What the hell is that?
Well, it's true. So
we're done. We're done. I gotta go. I can't let that stand. What are you talking about? I heard the worst Tarzan joke the other day. Actually, it was this morning. It was the worst joke. I can't even say it on the air. It's just bad. Maybe I'll tell it somewhere privately. What happened to the WTIC party he was going to host? And I offered all my ideas to DJ services for free. I'm not sure about that. I never even heard about that, KB. Anyway, I want to give a shout out to my good friend Dana out at Stadium 15 who's listening to the show. Dana and I are going to be doing some big things in the coming months. So can't wait to tell you folks all about that. So stand by for that. We're actually in the process, hopefully very soon. I want to say by springtime, maybe even sooner, we'll be able to do that as well. Tomorrow's program, we'll tell you more about Signalgate. As I just checked out, there are more names that are being dropped in Signalgate in Minnesota. We'll also follow up on whatever is going on with Minnesota as it pertains to the President of the United States and Tom Homan, who'll be out in Minnesota tonight, and find out how that fares. I'll be watching all of that stuff with you. Now, if I'm going to tell you anything that's important in all of this, folks, watch the news, do your regular, scouring of the stories, okay? But here is where we dissect them. Here is where we find out what's truly going on. Okay? So watch your news programs, but do not, and I mean this, do not take anything to heart. Okay? And just be a skeptic. That's all I'm going to tell you. Just think. When you hear it and it sounds weird to you, it's because it is. That's all I'm going to tell you. Do not make automotive decisions without consulting Craig in the car. Okay, I'll remember that. But it's a beater. The car's a beater. We're going to drive it around locally. Like, we're not going to go to, Mohegan Sun with it. It's to drive around local so Roseanne could go grocery shopping. That's all it's for. That's all it's for. We have to have a second car. Otherwise, she's going to sit in the house all day. She can't do that. Don't worry. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Also, as I was saying, if you want to follow Reese on the Radio on social media, please go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. So you can follow me on any one of the social media platforms that you like or the ones that you hang out in. You can go there and check out Reese on the Radio. I'm trying to post as much stuff as I possibly can as the stories happen, so you never miss a moment with Reese on the Radio. It's almost like I'm here 24 hours a day. Share just some of your stories by going to our social media page on Facebook. People send me stories all day. Scotty O sends them. Todd O sends them. And, of course, a slew of others. White Mike sends me stories. Everybody's sending me something.
so that I'm totally abreast of what's happening all around the country, if not around the world. So you can be a part of that as well. Negro nonsense. Let me just say this as far as bringing it back. Now, I was giving it a rest because I thought that the way I was seeing a lot of people receive it, especially people within the African-American community, it was kind of hurting their feelings. And I felt bad. I have empathy, folks. Don't get me wrong. I do. I have empathy. But I realized in listening to people that it is a public service. We're going to be honest. It's not just funny, but it is informative. And in a lot of ways, it's important. It is. It's important. And if we're running away from the conversation of race, we're never going to be able to get through it. And I am a fearless person. At least that's what I like to be. So, in the spirit of doing what you folks want, I know you really, really do love it. So, I guess we'll just bring it back. Why not?
Negro nonsense. How dare you? Negro nonsense. How dare you? Negro nonsense. How dare you?
That's for you, Chris. Thank you. Dana says, you're the man. Free seltzer on him tomorrow. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. It's the only thing I'll drink. I have to cut down on the tonic water, too much sugar. All right, folks, we are going to get up out of here. Please check all of the news today. And, of course, check me out on social media. Roland, safe travels. How long is your drive? Oh, you're staying at the hotel? Okay, yeah. Well, good. All right, so Roland will be nearby. Scared the hell out of me today because I thought he was trapped in that snow. I also thought you overslept. That was another thing. How long was the drive to get in today?
Probably like 50 minutes.
50? Oh, my. 50 minutes. Gosh, what was. Goodness. I don't think I could drive that. I hate driving that long. What? Yeah, but I understand it, but I don't want to drive. That's the whole deal, and I won't let Roseanne do it. So we'll try to keep. Now, I know that there are some places where I'll drive that are 2 hours. We went to Tewksbury for Thanksgiving. I'll drive some places 2 hours, but I've got to listen to. My head's got to be someplace else. But you know what? I will tell you this. This is absolutely true. It's true, and I'm not saying it to brag on Roseanne, but it's true. We'll be driving, and it will be either slick outside or dark, or to be, inclement weather, whatever the case is. And you know what Roseanne does to me? She talks because she's nervous on the road. She is nervous about the conditions, so she will talk throughout the entire thing. And the entire ride, I've got to keep my eye on the road, and I've got to communicate with her. I have to entertain her to make sure she's calmed down. So the whole ride, I'm going, yep, absolutely. Yep, that's a good, yep, absolutely fun, hon. No, I totally understand that. Yep. And me, on the other hand, I'm trying to pay attention to the road while I'm paying attention to her because I have a tendency to tune her out. Oh, what's that? I have to tranquilize my wife? I have to B.A. Baracus her before we get out of there like a little A-team? As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the Radio. You have a good night, a pleasant tomorrow, and we'll see you back here at 2 p.m. Mark Christopher, he's still getting you home. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, have a great night. Right now, dealing with that road closure 91 southbound in Enfield that is shut down at exit 47. Even an accident between